All right. Hi, Cole. Yeah. Okay. Well, drive safely. Don't get in a crash. And if you do get in a crash, let me know. No, I'm kidding. Let's see. Let's get everything up properly. Twitch up. In that corner, YouTube goes down in that corner. Got sources up on that side. Okay. Okay. What is that? Why do you say that? Um. All right. Yeah, you can set on mute for that. That's I'm not chill with racist comments like that. Just a little bit on the too racy side for me. But yeah, how's everybody's day going? Yeah. People have a very big misunderstanding of nature. Hey, goat. Is that fine if I call you goat or goatus?
Yeah, sure. Being trans is disgusting and degenerate.
Oh, okay. So why would you say that?
Yeah, it's completely against God. It's completely degenerate. I find it very disgusting. You
Okay.
guys completely you guys completely misunderstand human nature.
Well, that's like there's a bunch of like precepts inside that we can unpack if you'd like. Like that there is nature to begin with that like you're giving cause to like or you're basically full
Yeah,
putting
I'm
in.
gonna give theology to human life. Yeah, I'm gonna say there's ultimate purpose and that there is human nature.
Well, yeah. So what evidence do you have of that?
What evidence do I have of there being a theology?
Yeah. What evidence do you have to say that humans have like a reason to be here?
Yeah, once again, I would ground it in God, and I just use the impossibility of the contrary. But that's not really the argument I'm trying to make. I
So you're running tag? Is that what
no,
you
I
run?
came up. I
Oh,
can't. No, I came up here to tell you that being trans is absolutely disgusting. I
well,
hope you see that one day.
you can think that, but it's actually
Yeah,
just
I
a
do.
natural part of human life. It's just expected underneath the diverse, the wide range of human expression.
That's natural.
hmm It's expected.
That's completely irrelevant to being disgusting.
I mean, you can think it's disgusting. You cannot understand it, but from the entire medical consensus is that being trans is something that is not like wrong or immoral in any way.
Oh, so that's just an appeal to authority, and I don't think scientists can tell you what's morally wrong. That's completely irrelevant, bro. Yeah, and even it being natural is just a naturalistic fallacy as well. That has no bearing on whether it's disgusting or not. It clearly is. I think you'll wake up one day, especially when the government changes.
Uh, I mean, we're kind of already underneath like an anti-trans. Um,
Not really, dude. I mean, Trump's disgusting, bro.
uh, I mean, we can agree there actually. But yeah, Trump's already pretty anti-trans, along with the conservative.
Yeah, but
Well,
he's also just kind of a freak and a weirdo. I mean, once we get someone in power who actually has grounds in morality, and we can start banning things like this, dude.
well, we are a secular nation. I hope you understand.
Yeah, right now, of course, but I
I
don't
think
foresee
you
that in the
would.
future.
I think you would see very strong pushback if you try to make the U.S. not a secular nation, even from Christians. I know plenty of Christians who would push back on the idea of trying to like establish some sort of official religion.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's true right now, but I also think that the countries and populations can turn around really quickly. I think we've seen that throughout history. So
Okay. Um, I simply don't see any reason really to listen to you if you say it's wrong and disgusting, but I simply don't see any reason to believe what you say.
yeah, I think you know it in your heart, and I think you'll come to see it one day.
Well,
I
if
believe
I just
that.
say that you know in your heart that being trans is fine, then this is just the same argument.
No,
It's
yeah, that's completely fine. I didn't come up here to have a formal debate with you, but I truly think you'll discover the wrong you're doing one day, bro.
I think that the scientific community would vehemently disagree with you about that. It's been shown over the last.
Can science tell you what's moral?
No, but it can show us that what can and cannot cause harm, and to be against trans people causes harm against trans people, and trans people do not hurt other people for simply being trans. So
Yeah, I don't believe that you can do whatever you want if it doesn't harm others. That doesn't seem very. I mean, do you believe that you can do whatever you want as long as you're not harming others?
within reason, yeah. I mean,
Well,
do you not believe like
within
in
reason is
freedom?
what we're discussing. Yeah, but what do you mean by within reason? Just based on what you believe is right and wrong? I'm assuming, right? That'd be the logical answer.
Well, I'm a moral realist, but that's besides the point.
What?
Yes,
What?
I believe that you can ground morals in things such as logic.
Oh my goodness, dude, that's a terrible position. Become a nihilist, bro. It'd be way harder.
Nah.
That's way stronger, bro. A moral realist? That's an atheist? Bro,
Mm-hmm.
that's crazy.
Have you ever heard of Alan Gorth's idea of universal human rights?
No, the only moral realists I've read are Sturgeon. Who else? Oh gosh, I'm forgetting now. Yeah, but what do you? So you ground it in logic?
Yeah, so you
Like
can
the
use
laws of logic?
logical. You can use the laws of logic to deduce,
There's
and
no way you can do that. Show me.
so the way that I would go about grounding it is in a few different steps. It's
Hold on, but you're gonna presuppose harm is wrong, right?
no, I'm actually basing it off of the fact that people are purposeful agents, that we do things for reasons.
I thought you didn't believe in theology.
Uh, I'm not sure what theology is.
Meaning and purpose,
Um, I don't think that there is like
inherent
some.
meaning.
Yeah, it's that our meaning comes from us being purposeful agents itself. It is property of being a purposeful agent. That gives ourselves meaning, not that that we are a purposeful agent for some reason in the first place.
So what do you need to be purposeful?
To like just have a reason to be doing anything, even if this is
Could it be
subconscious.
instinct? Could it be instinct then?
Potentially, I think it's very clear that if you ask anybody why they do something, they most of the times can give you a reason why they do it, and they value that they're doing things for a reason. They're therefore also presupposing that they need their own freedom and well being to be able to take these actions, and because they're claiming the rights to freedom and well being, they must universalize those for everyone. Otherwise, it would be essentially special pleading. So this just necessitates freedom and well being for all individuals,
So
based off of the
you
fact that they're
you're
purposeful
you're
agent.
basically just doing the Izzat fallacy as hard as possible. It
Well,
is the
no,
case. It is
because
the case that people want freedom, therefore they ought have it. Okay.
no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that you'd actually end up with a logical contradiction if you're to try
What?
to
Yeah, but
affirm otherwise.
what's inherently wrong with a logical contradiction? I mean, obviously,
Contradictions don't
you're
exist. That's what's wrong. You
no.
can't affirm a proposition and its direct negation.
Yeah, if you want to be logical, but no, there's nothing inherently wrong with a logical contradiction. With holding one, there's nothing inherently wrong with it. You have to show me that.
What? There's
What
nothing inherently.
what's
They're
immoral about
simply
having a logical
false.
contradiction?
They're
Yeah,
just
what's wrong
simply
with something being
false.
false? What is wrong with something being false?
So if you want to ever hold an idea that's I mean, I guess you can hold it, but I'm just gonna hold to you that you're being false and
That's
being
fine.
illogical. So I have no reason to listen to you. And
No, that's
actually,
completely fine. But
I have all the rights to laugh at you for holding a
you're
wrong view.
your grounding is presupposing that you need to be logically consistent.
Well, if I'm not logically consistent, then I'm not being logical. And if I'm not being
Right, and what's
logical, I can't give
where's
any.
the ought? Where's the ought come from that you ought not do that?
Well, it's not an ought that you
If
ought
there's no
not do
ought,
it.
there's no morality. If there's no ought, there's no morality.
It's simply that you literally cannot ground any sort of idea of reasons without having logic. So you cannot even have an argue. Like you lose the ability to come to the table with an argument if you
Mhm.
like if you just abandon logic. You can't like inherently the reasons why we do things, the reasons behind an argument are based off of logic itself. If you abandon logic, you cannot build these reasons.
Yeah, so let me make a distinction. Obviously, it's completely illogical to have a logical contradiction. I mean, that's just the definition. But why is it morally wrong, or why ought we not do them? If
Oh,
you say
if
if we ought not make contradictions because it's illogical, that's just a circular definition. I want to know why we ought not do it.
I'm not really
Obviously,
making
it's
the
not a
claim
good
that we.
argument, but when you're referring to morality, I need to know the ought here.
Well, it's that you literally would result in a contradiction to say otherwise.
And
That you're
okay,
not
is
being
that
logical,
so you
and
ought?
being
But why ought you
illogical.
not do that?
I mean, you literally just don't have an argument at that point
Why ought you not do that? Is my question.
because you no longer have an argument. Like it's just a complete destruction of the opposition.
Right,
If
but
you
no, but
abandon logic, you are literally just like basically essentially saying GG, I auto lose. It's like an auto lose position to
no,
hold.
no. So yeah, but what you're conflating making a good argument, which I agree needs to be logically consistent, with making an ought claim about grounding normative ethics. And I don't see why it's the case that it would necessarily be wrong to have a logical contradiction, and how that would be immoral in any way.
It might not be immoral necessarily, but it is a logic. It is a reason to do something. It's literally. I mean, if you care about like any sort of logic, which I think inherently us being logical creatures, we use logic to come up with ideas. Therefore, we care about it to some extent. If we stop caring about logic, we are undermining the very reasons why we do things. So you can have any reason literally um, to do something, and by having a reason to do something in itself gives you justification to care about freedom and well-being.
It does give you justification, but it doesn't give you an ought. And I'm confused. Like, if you're even saying there's moral facts, are these physical? Are these metaphysical? Where are they?
It would be metaphysical, I believe. It's just based off of the facts that having purpose leads to um, basically you creating these moral, like when you have a purpose to do something, that is your ought right there. And because you have that ought, it grounds
Oh,
your
hold
freedom
on.
and well-being.
Ought would entail that there's an obligation, or there's an actual wrongness to doing the contrary. So you need to show me where that is.
I would just say that I would just say that you're literally undermining your own position if you're to hold that a contrary position at this point. because of the fact that you are undermining your own reasons to do things. Um, and at that point, I simply like literally ought claims are just reasons to do something. Um, and if you're
Right,
undermining
but it
the
would
very
have to be a
reason why you do
universal.
anything, well,
No,
yeah,
but
it is because
you're
we're
appealing to
purposeful agents.
universal ought claims.
Yes,
You're appealing to
so
universal ought claims.
we are purposeful agents, and by our very nature of being purposeful agents, this means that we have a purpose. We have a reason why we do things. It doesn't matter what that reason is, but those reasons um, make us care about our own freedom and well-being to be able to take actions. And then you have to universalize that to be logically consistent.
Dude, that's insane. It's like it's the most like in-depth way of using it. So because it is the case, therefore you're just going from an is to an ought, clearly.
Well, I'm using the ought of your purpose. I don't care what that purpose is, but
But
hidden in that
you're
purpose,
still
it
just
is an
jumping
ought.
from an is to an ought. You're just jumping from
No,
an is
no,
to
I'm
an ought.
not because I'm using the ought justified in your own purpose. It does not have to be. It is universal because and it doesn't matter what your ought is at the end of the day.
Okay, great. So if my ought was to like, I'll be TikTok friendly, but like unalive of, I don't know, unalive a bunch of, I can't, you can't say that. You understand what I'm getting at. If that was my purpose, therefore I ought to do that.
Well, you'd be inherently like initially starting. Oh, give me a second. You are essentially like you just really quickly run into a contradiction of like special pleading that you're basically saying that you being a purposeful agent is enough to grant you the rights of freedom and well-being, but others are not. So just be
Oh,
logically
because
inconsistent.
so because you're saying because if I unalive someone, then I'm taking away their rights, therefore it's special pleading.
Well, yeah, because you're literally justifying your right to act based off of your own freedom and or your own freedom and well-being is based off of you being a purposeful agent. Yeah, I don't really understand. It is valid to critique the ought, but it's like I don't know. It seems a little bit of a self-defeating position. Yeah, it's because agency is enough to justify the right to freedom and well-being. Others ought not interfere with it.
Yeah, I just looked it up. Sorry, I'm still confused because it feels like this would make morality arbitrary, right?
No, it would be down to simply
It's
reinforcing the
dependent
ideas
on
of
it's dependent on humans what humans perceive as their purpose.
it's dependent on humans having a purpose.
But
That
what they
is
perceive
actually
to
what
be
it's
that
dependent
purpose.
on. If you were to say that
That would
you're an
make it.
agent without a purpose, I would just say that I don't know why I should even listen to you at that point because you really just are not like I don't think you could make any sort of moral claim if you saying that you don't have any purpose whatsoever.
Right, but
Like
it's
you're
arbitrary.
abandoning this idea of morals in the first place.
It's arbitrary to what humans believe their purpose is. If humans believe their purpose was to just curl up and die, then wouldn't that be the moral thing to do?
No, because of how we value our actions because we're
What,
purposeful agents.
yeah, what if our purpose was to curl up and die? That was everyone's purpose. That's what everyone believed their purpose was. Wouldn't that be the morally correct thing to do?
Well, no, because it would be you're using your own agency. I guess you for your own agency you could
No,
do that,
but
but like
we're
it's
we're hypothetically. supposing that that was what everyone believed their purpose to be. Every single human. Wouldn't that be the morally right thing to do?
Are you not just like presupposing an anti-realist perspective by doing that though?
I'm just no. So you say it's dependent on our purpose, and we need freedom. That makes sense. But what if everyone's purpose was to curl up and die? That's what everyone believed. Wouldn't that be the morally correct thing to do? Isn't that pretty consistent?
So it does not matter what reasons, what your purpose is at the end of the day. It is simply the fact that we are purposeful agents that I'm grounding my logic and morals in. Or just morals. Logic is based off of like um, the contrary of impossibility. That you need to presuppose logic in order to use logic.
Well, yeah. I mean that's what Aristotle gave us.
Yeah, I don't care what anybody else believes. If they hold a view that ends in like this contradiction, they're just wrong. They're simply wrong about morals at that point. Hence why it's an objective moral standpoint.
Yeah, I guess. The only problem I see left would just be like it seems redundant to me.
What's redundant? What am I bringing extra in there?
Yeah,
It's only redundant that we have a purpose, and that I'm also grounding like objective morality. I'm simply using the fact that everybody has a purpose to ground objective morality. It is the very actions that we take based on purposes that we have.
yeah. Well, I once again I believe that like even the stance of objective morality would be redundant because it doesn't provide any explanatory power. Meaning, we do not need to appeal to objective morality to explain why humans do what they do or why anyone does what they do.
Well,
It
law claims
adds
don't
absolutely
need
zero value.
I don't think morals have explanation or explanatory power in the first place.
Well, no,
It's
but
just saying that
if you're
we have
gonna
reasons to do something, and I can provide you the reason why to do that, and it's just because of the fact that we're purposeful agents, and
right, but
what's implied based off of that.
you're positing an entity that we have no basis to grant because it doesn't actually add any explanatory power. Meaning, we can explain every single action and what people deem to be moral, immoral, purely based on natural facts alone. We don't need to presuppose any metaphysical facts about the universe.
I'm not really presupposing anything other than the fact that I'm literally just making the observation that people are purposeful agents. We do things for reasons and drawing conclusions based off of that.
Right,
It's
but
not. It's
once again,
constructing from the same base set of presuppositions as basically
but
everybody else.
why are you positing this entity if it doesn't actually add any explanatory power? That's the problem of redundancy. It's very redundant to posit the existence of a moral fact when natural facts explain everything thoroughly. Like for example, if we take the case of Schmittler, for example, you can explain everything he did completely on natural facts based on his upbringing, his psychology, the time period, etc. You don't need to posit the existence of a like that he was morally bad. That doesn't make any sense.
I don't even think this is like logically sound because of the fact that morals aren't trying to make a claim about presupposition. Like I'm not making a presupposition about objective
No, no,
morals.
I'm not saying
I'm
you are.
building it. It's
Well,
building
I'm
up from us the same set of presuppositions. You're trying to use something such as like Occam's razor to
no,
show
no,
why
no,
this is not
no. Of
reasonable
course,
to add. But in fact, I'm not actually making it more complex. I'm using data that is very easy to see to make conclusions. This is just what we do.
yeah, of course not. I'm not making this argument up. Let me pull it up for you. Yeah, this comes straight from Gilbert Harmon. No, I'm not using ChatGPT. I have an essay written on it. If you want me to send it to you, the argument I'm using comes straight from Gilbert Harmon.
Well, you're saying that it doesn't add anything
Yeah,
to,
but like I'm just showing you that I'm not
but it
just like
does add something.
bullshitting you.
It adds objective morality.
Well,
It
that's
is
just
in fact
circular.
adding. No, because do you agree that objective morality versus no objective morality, they're not the same worldviews? Like you don't have the same. You do have. It doesn't have any explanatory power, but you are getting something in exchange for
You,
extra complexity. You are getting some reason to do things.
right, but we can explain all actions thoroughly through natural facts alone. Therefore, I don't see the existence to posit this entity.
I'm not trying to add explanatory power. I'm saying
Then there's no
I
reason to posit the existence. If it doesn't provide any extra explanation, I find no reason
it's
to.
it's it's not like it's a presupposition, because this is comes down to like what we presuppose. Occam's razor's arguments come about with
This is
presuppositions.
not
They
Arkham's.
look
This
at
is not
the.
Occam's razor. This is straight from Gilbert Harmon. I
Do
wrote a
you,
paper on it. That's the only
this
reason
very
I
much
brought it up.
sounds like an Occam's razor argument that if we do not add explanatory power, like so, if you have two models, one has more or both have the same explanatory power, but one is more complex. Um, the simpler one is most likely going to be correct. But so it's identical in this sense. But I'm not adding like any extra presuppositions to begin with. I'm just using
I
the.
didn't say presuppositions.
Well, yeah, but
You're just
I
like
simply
you're
don't.
posing that there's some metaphysical facts about the universe
Well, I'm
when
drawing it from
they
logical
don't add any value.
deductions. I'm literally making a deductive argument about it. So unless if my logic is flawed in some way, the conclusion necessary follows.
What's up?
It's a logical argument that the conclusion follows from the premises. It's grounds objective morality based off of logic and a deductive argument. It's simply that this has to exist because it logically follows. We have objective morals because we are what's we call it, agents, purposeful agents.
Yeah, I see this. I'm not really getting an answer to the fact that it doesn't provide us anything.
Yeah, it might not provide us with anything, but it necessarily follows given the starting point. It has to follow. Otherwise, to say otherwise, you'd have to abandon logic. And then at that point, but by argument.
Yeah, I'm gonna Google the syllogism.
Oh yeah, it's just because my mic is right above my keyboard. It's not even that loud of a keyboard. I mean, it's larger than probably like a membrane, but it's just it's not even clicky. No, I was typing to somebody in YouTube chat, so they're asking what the question was. So Hi, Palm. What is Spoops? PFP.
Yeah, what is this view called? I cannot find it anywhere.
It's called Alan Gewirth's Universal Human Rights. At least that's a
Alan
best.
who?
Alan Gewirth's. Gerwirth. It also is sometimes called yeah, it's generally just called the Universal Human Rights. I think that's what it is, at least. Yeah, it's the idea that universal human rights can be rationally justified as the outcome of claims necessarily made by rational agents. Um, it's I think it's a really good way. I think it's a at least offers a framework on that you can have morals under a that are objective in some sense. I think there is some gray zones in some places, but overall, it can give you at least some good idea of like why hurting somebody's freedom and well being if you're getting absolutely nothing out of it or not like saving somebody's life is objectively wrong.
But you're not saying that rights actually exist, right?
It's that the rights are necessarily are necessarily um, like you could justify them based off of what rational agents do. It's the very idea that we are purposeful agents that basically we're basically deducing why morals exist based off of that fact alone.
But you're not saying there's any realness to rights. Like, do they exist metaphysically or no?
I'm not sure about that at all. I'm not the most philosophically like. I haven't gone through philosophy all too much. I would say that hesitantly say no, that they're not actually real. But we're basically drawing them. We can draw these conclusions from um, the fact that we are purposeful agents. Is what I'm basically the argument is. And that like basically we are that these ideas of rights are like implicit claims that people make, um, and that in order to be logically consistent, we must hold them for everybody. So. But yeah, I think you could go either way with it being realist or anti-realist about it. It's simply, I would say it's real in the sense that you can draw it from, like given a set of starting conditions. But otherwise, it's I wouldn't consider it like real metaphysically. So. Hi, Astrid. Do you have anything else to add, or should I just go on to the next guest?
Yeah, you can go for it. I'm trying to look into this more. I mean, I'm not just gonna like ChatGPT a defeater. I mean, that's kind of pointless.
Yeah, I think it's so far. It seems to be that I haven't really heard any good. I've heard other people run this too, and I haven't heard any like really good opposition to it because it seems pretty like logical that because we do things for purposes, we value the reasons behind it, and then we must universalize these reasons for everybody, just so that we're logically consistent. What would the
Yeah, I
metaphysics
feel like
behind that? I don't know. I simply also kind of don't care at that point because like it's something that we can pretty clearly see, that we care about things that we do. So
yeah, I think there's a problem with like the special pleading part, but I mean that's what
I
I'm gonna try to
mean,
figure out.
it
I'll
would be
probably
so. The reason why it'd be special pleading otherwise is that you're using essentially your own agency to ground these rights of freedom and well-being, and therefore you have to because you have no like morally justifiable, like there's no difference between you and another person from like a moral standpoint. You
well
can't.
that just begs the question because I'm trying to understand if morality even exists.
Well, you'd have to have a like a logically consistent. You'd have to have a reason why not to justify others. Um,
Not necessarily. I think it needs to be
right.
shown. It needs to be shown that you ought do this or you ought not do that. I don't think I need an argument for the contrary. I think you're making the positive claim and you need to show it to be the case.
Um, there's some stuff about I know that Gareth also has a thing called what is it, the principle of generic consistency. Um, and that's basically stating that every agent must act in accord with generic rights of recipients as well as those of themselves. Um,
Um, Reclusi, isn't this a meta ethic and metaphysical debate? I'm confused by that comment. I'm just taking the stance that morality likely doesn't exist. I think that's the definition of a meta ethical position, and I think that's what we've been talking about.
well, even if you don't hold to morals, I would just say that if you're against trans people, we know that uh, like not affirming somebody's individuality just leads to harm being caused to them in a number of different ways. It leads to shorter life expect a short or a lower life expectancy, higher risks of drug abuse and risky sexual behaviors, and a lot more. And at that point, I think those are very, you could. I don't think I would just take it as like kind of crazy to say that none of this matters at all. Um, if it's at the end of the day, because like we know that like drug abuse and risky sexual behaviors cause harm to people.
You understand? I also see what Reclusi's saying now. Okay, yeah, okay, I get it.
Yeah, he's got a he's actually studies philosophy,
No, no,
unlike me.
I get what he's saying. He's saying that like what we're talking about right now is completely irrelevant to the prompt, which is obviously true. No, but yeah, man. Yeah, I followed you. So if you do more philosophy debates, I'll join up. I mean, I was just coming up with a troll because I think it's disgusting, but I mean, that's obviously irrelevant.
I mean, you can think it's disgusting. I just simply don't
Right.
care when it
Yeah.
like
Right.
opposing viewpoints harm people. That's kind of my thing at the end of the day, and like I don't think there's really a way of getting out of that. If you once you figure out that it like causes harm to other people, I simply do not see a way of justifying it.
Well, I think that like trans and the LGBT stuff is just degenerate. And I believe it harms the individuals who are doing it.
Well,
That would be my stance.
the pile of evidence that we have today would suggest otherwise. That it's not. It doesn't actually harm any individual by simply being trans.
Well, I mean their unaliving rates are much higher. And I don't believe that you can just attribute that to
Uh,
like
you can attribute it
bad
almost
treatment.
entirely to bad treatment. It is
I don't
actually.
think so.
Um, I'm gonna bring up Cole. Yeah, you can actually. What I would first off attribute it to would be um, the lack of family support, because that is the largest predictor of suicide ideation. It also, especially within children, if children are supported in their identities by their parents and their family, the levels of depression are equal to those of cisgender and of their cisgender peers, and anxiety rates are only slightly elevated. So what that shows to us is that being transgender in itself is not causing these higher rates. It's that actually it's people not caring about them and
It's how
not
we're
supporting
treated.
them that causes these higher rates of incidents and unfortunate events.
Well, yeah, I
Yes.
would.
Sorry, I'm a chime in real quick. Was it disgusting or gross? What was the word you used to describe us?
Yeah, disgusting. But I wouldn't necessarily
Okay,
say
okay.
that.
I asked that question because I would like to say that you, and if we can play the definition and semantics game with it, but if you think that we're disgusting, I know that you are disgusting and have evidence to back it because you do not think that trans people's lives, health, and safety is important enough to affirm them in any way. So that's pretty disgusting to me.
Okay, okay. I'm not really gonna go. Yeah, I don't really want to like
Yeah,
bullshit
I
with you.
too wouldn't want to be bashed that have that bashed off my head. I totally grant that you don't want to go down that route.
No, not at all. I think it's a non sequitur too. I can find something disgusting. It doesn't mean I don't think people should exist. But either way, I don't necessarily think that being trans is causing people to unalive themselves. I think there's a group of people who are um not doing well mentally, and then these people are also more likely to become trans.
Yeah, but
You're just disagreeing with science. The
yeah,
evidence already
when
given
I
at this
literally
point.
can provide you sources that show you that this is simply because it's almost certainly the largest portion of these mental health issues are due to the lack of family support, and that when
I
individuals are supported, they live full long lives that are like actually fulfilling,
yeah, I
and
guess
it's something that I don't think that anti-trans people can accept, because like this is something that shouldn't happen under most people's worldviews, because there's some sort of deviant.
yeah,
So
I guess my question is why don't we see these high of rates of unaliving in other groups
we do.
such as
uh, Lesbian, gay, bi.
well yeah right, but I don't know, is there any other group you can think of that's been persecuted pretty heavily?
Disabled people.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, yeah, because I mean I believe that transgenderism is a mental disability. But like,
there is no
It's
transgenderism. That's not a word,
yeah.
first of all. Second of all, you have to back that claim.
No major
yeah,
medical
because
organization in the world classifies being transgender itself as a
well, they
mental
used to.
disorder.
They
They
used
used
to.
to, but what
And
we
then we
figured
evolved
out,
science.
Or
um,
then the political rhetoric changed.
No,
no,
but it wasn't
it was the
politicized.
science
So
that changed.
we can go back to the 90s. A cisgender scientist made the words cisgender and transgender in the 90s because we needed something to describe trans people and to describe cis people. And so that was literally like, I mean, we started being really majorly politicized just these past like 5 to 10 years in this country, at least in the US. So you can't really make that claim again without any evidence when we have evidence that A, we've existed for all of written history, and B, that science even was ahead of politics and society on that front by decades.
Yeah, once again, I never made the claim that trans people weren't existing throughout history. That's obviously the case.
I literally just addressed what you said about being trans being a mental disorder. And it
Yeah,
really is just you're disagreeing with science, and we're trying to tell you the science that you're disagreeing with. So we are addressing what you're asking.
I believe it to be the case because I don't think that what people are believing comports with reality, which people would consider some sort of mental disability, and in conjunction with the high suicide rates. That's why I believe so.
Do
well,
you
so
think
hold on.
that
I'm gonna
science is in
jump in
line
here
with
too,
reality?
Cole,
Okay, go
real
ahead.
quick. It's not that people aren't conforming with reality. People who are trans are very aware of their biological reality. It's simply that they're being trans is a incongruence between what somebody was assigned as being born as versus who they feel they are, who they know they are. And I use
Well,
feel in a very uh, uh, strange way in the sense that like it's not like, oh, I believe this or that. It's very much a knowledge thing, that you know who you are as an individual.
well, of
Um,
course, and you can only ever feel like yourself. You as a if you're a biological man, you can't feel like a woman because you are not a woman. Therefore, you don't know what it feels like to
How
be a
about
woman.
this? I actually, one second. I actually agree with you on that. When trans men are born, they only ever know what it's like to be a boy or a man, regardless of their sex assigned at birth. When trans women are born, they only ever know what it's like to be a girl or a woman, regardless of their
What do you mean
assigned
by
sex at
being a
birth.
girl? What do you mean by being know what it feels like to be a girl? What do they feel like?
You literally just said you can only understand that experience, like, if you
Through your
are that
biology.
thing. So,
Through your
no,
biology.
you're conflating sex and gender here. I don't know if this was happening earlier before I was here, but you definitely are now. They're not the same thing, believe it or not. They have different definitions for different reasons. So you cannot say that the complex nature of gender is solely based on the biological aspects of sex. So, like, a trans woman, for example, they only know what it's like to be a woman, and they only know what it's like to be male. Arguably, if they start
Okay.
HRT, they would know what it's like to have gone through like female puberty and all that. But they only know what it's like to be a male, even though they only know what it's like to be a woman. Make sense?
Great. So when they say or when you say they know it feels like to be a woman, what does that mean? What are they feeling like?
Well, I could just ask the same question to you. Like, it's the chair question, you know? Like, how do you feel being a man? What does that feel like?
I feel like myself. That's all I can compare it to. I've only ever felt like myself. So I have
Exactly.
no idea what it feels like to be anything else.
That's all we have to compare it to, too, as trans
Right. So
folks.
how can you assign that to feeling like the opposite gender?
Opposite gender from your sex, because again, that's all we've ever known.
Right, but why are you calling it why are you calling it a certain thing?
Why are we calling our gender out for what it is?
Well, I don't even think we need gender then. If you want to separate it from biology, then I think gender is useless. I don't see what's the purpose of gender then.
It's a social construct, partially. It's an neuropsychosocial construct.
It seems pretty useless then. I would just say I feel like a biological male because I feel like myself, and I happen to be one.
I mean, if you want to like be what's it called? Some non-binary people are this, and I cannot remember what it's called. Just like Effie felt that way. What is it called still? Help. When you just like are against gender as a whole. Gender abolitionist. There it is.
Oh yeah.
You can be your
Yeah.
gender abolitionist, and you can absolutely head that movement if you want. But
W.
that's
It,
just
it
not.
seems way more logical that I am a male, and that some people are females, and because the only reason the reason for gender is because it describes the discrepancies in biology for the most part.
No, not for the
on
most part.
on the whole, on like as a generalization.
What kind of hair length do you think that women have versus men typically?
Yeah, typically women have longer hair.
What kind of colors do you think that women like typically over men?
Yeah, pink. Yeah.
What kind of ways that they act do you think that men and women differ in? Typically.
Yeah, women typically are more nurturing.
These are all outside of biology that I've just
No.
listed to you, and I could go
No.
on, and they are related
What?
to our gender, which is why it exists.
Wait, you
Hi,
don't
Astrid.
you don't think that there's biological reasons for those?
I don't, because
Historically,
there are
possibly?
masculine
Women are
women and
nurturing.
feminine men.
Yeah, that's
Also, the concept of gender as a social category like predates biological sex, quote unquote, by like millennia.
Yeah, because it was, but what it was describing was discrepancies in biology.
It was describing social categories because like
which are only caused.
before. Can I finish?
Whatever, dude. Go for it.
Before like colonialization by like Western powers, and even before it's all the British's fault basically. People
British
had
are awesome, bro.
it.
Can you not interrupt trans folks, please?
What?
I'm just
Also-
muting his ass because I'm done. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So many different cultures prior to colonization by the West had more than two categories of gender, such as I can never remember what they're called, but like the Mesopotamian non-binary priests and stuff, and the trans
Eunuchs?
women priestesses. No, they're
Oh.
it's like Bili and.
Oh, I
something
don't know
else.
about the Mesopotamian.
And then there's like Two Spirit, there's the Hydra, there's like the Jewish, like the Hebrews had like 6 genders, etc., etc. Like there's so many different examples. That was the norm before colonialization. And even like transgender and transfemininity is a colonial concept that's been imposed upon all these things under the umbrella of transgender.
Yeah, so basically what you're describing is there's a lot of degenerate groups, and then the British stopped them. Sounds good to me.
Oh,
bro.
okay, so you're a fucking white supremacist?
What?
That's basically what you just said.
No, it's not. I'd never referred to race. That makes no sense, bro.
I mean, you just appealed to like the British, saying, "Oh well,
That doesn't-
the British were right."
There's
It-
lots
it
of
often
Just
comes
because
with a
they're
groups,
connotation
except
of being racist. Or of some
Yeah,
sort.
yeah. The British being right and white people being superior that does not correlate. That's a non sequitur.
Wait. How are they right if you're a moral non-realist?
Yeah. In my opinion, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and there's no reason to listen to you. So
Yeah, I mean, there would be no reason to listen to anyone under my view.
the British are terrible.
well, then why are you here?
Yeah, you have to ground theology. I don't see that to be the case.
Well, you yourself claim that there's no reason to listen to anybody.
There's no there's no ultimate purpose, and you have to show me that to be the case. There might be subjective purpose, but I don't see any theology, and I need that to be shown to me.
Oh. Anyways,
So your counter argument is no.
nuh-uh.
Literally, like the burden of proof is not on us. And if you have questions, we have evidence for
I don't
why
think
we're
what I
making this
said.
claim
I don't
anyway.
think what I said boils down to no, unless you just don't understand.
I mean, you kind of
Sorry,
said
you just don't understand my gibberish.
You don't
Oh,
think
my
that there's
gibberish.
a-
Yeah, Cole, I think I was speaking above you there. I don't think you were quite tracking.
Without you giving us reasons to listen to you, I simply see no reason for you to be here. That's the problem. You in fact would need to justify your why we should listen to you if you want anybody to listen to you.
Yeah, no, I don't see there to be any ultimate theology once again.
Oh,
I
okay.
already made that claim.
What's the shape of Italy? What does it look like?
Bro, I have an Xbox, bro.
Yeah, Italy. You know the
Yeah,
country?
yes, I'm familiar with the kicking. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
That was
It's the shape of a boot.
yeah. If you can't answer those basic kinds of questions, then maybe you're the one who isn't up to par with the conversation. Maybe you don't have the boots for the hike. Hi, Astrid.
Hello.
Hey Cole, have you seen who's in the requests right now?
I'm just at work, so I'll probably be muted.
Yeah, I did. When I got here, I don't know, maybe around 4:15 to 4:30, I saw them there, and I was like, interesting. We'll see if we do it or not.
Bro, I have an Xbox. Alright, here we go. Hello, Edna.
Mode.
Hello, Stoat, it's me, Solid Snake Kitty. This is a troll account.
Oh, I
taking
forgot
the
that
piss
you
with
did
this.
Oh
this.
my god! Sorry, that's
was-
great.
No,
Hi.
I have one for Christy as well. I have so many troll accounts, it's hilarious.
I
It's
was
actually hilarious.
You fooled us.
Yeah, I could have started spewing shit in the comments to really make it look like I was the real Nick, which I have done before, and trolled people to make them think I'm actually GC till I hop up on panel and go, got ya.
That's great.
I should have looked at the follower count.
Nah, because thing is, my excuse is that my excuse for having this account, if anyone ever goes, oh wait, it's Edna and that, I just go, yeah, this live wouldn't let Edna up unless it was a fresh account because 200 people might follow and spam the comment too much, and it just gets me followers and money, which I think is hilarious. I just sit there silent as if other people are arguing and I'm waiting for my turn, and I just get followers and gifts given for free. Even better.
That
And
is such a great way to use the
I just
system.
say it's a new alt account because they made me do that. So that 200 people didn't follow me in here.
You're the ultimate bamboozler of
2032219. I have a student here. Kejriwal, my star 1880.
I thought I was muted. I'm sorry.
There you go.
You weren't muted, mate. that was a radio. We heard the radio.
But no, you're the ultimate bamboozler of like, oh, we know what gender people are, or what sex people are.
Right.
You're
Either
the
or.
100% nobody gets you right unless if they've been told.
Oh no, same here.
Oh God, India.
That-
Oh no.
Nah, if you were to take a guess, which one would you think?
Who? What? Me?
Yes.
I know you're a female.
Exactly, so I bamboozle people as well.
All the time, I'm
You're
sure.
pretending to be Edna mode because it's based. It's better than.
Nah, I'm not pretending to be. I am the Edna mode. Edna copies me.
It's
Edna
me.
copied me.
What was I gonna say? Oh, Edna, why, or not Edna, India, why would we listen to you
Wait,
bossing
he's in his
people
own
around,
live.
really?
He's in his own life.
But-
I've been waiting for a chance to do this, to hop into his life with this account and take
I
the
mean,
piss.
if you want to do it, we're
I
not
do-
scared, India, and we're also not doing it because you told us to.
Well,
Anyways,
I'm debating it, and the reason why is purely because the most stupidest quote I've ever heard him say is that, you know, Mr. Kinder Potato.
Yep, I'm aware of them.
Yeah, it was
Or him, I think, yeah.
And basically, he was saying that a neo vagina is not a real vagina, and because it's artificial, they can't denote being female. which is technically incorrect. So Mr. Kinder brought up like prosthetic legs and stuff. Like if someone's missing a limb, then it still denotes being bipedal if they have a prosthetic leg. So yes, and then he agreed, and then realized that it counteracted his own point and took it back and said no, they denote to being legless.
I
That's
freaking
the stupidest quote
love
he's
when
ever
that
said,
happens.
and now I keep taking the piss out of that same quote everywhere I can. I just go into every life and just go, you denote to being legless, and just leave.
I like this. I like this argument a lot. Actually, I'm going to in fact do this thing called steal it.
It's
Scared
Wait, you're gonna do a
panel.
British? You're gonna do the British to the British? That's a bit unfair, isn't it?
What, colonize them? No.
No, just steal from us.
y'all are goofy.
We'll dump your
Me,
tea in the harbor.
goofy,
See how you feel
never.
about that.
Go debate him then. Who's him then? Who's him then, India? You know, if someone has the pronouns of he, they, you don't need to use both every time you refer to them.
Right.
Sorry, I'm really gonna
Oh, I
tease.
see what you did.
Exactly.
I love it.
Exactly. See, I take the piss. This is the thing. I'm pedantic and sarcastic, and I want Edna to fucking accept me. Just fucking go to human beings denotes being legless.
For real.
Because
What was I gonna say?
No, he's been scared of Kinder since that conversation. He's not spoke with Kinder since. Kinder happily invites him, and he's dodged it every time he's gone into his live. He's purposely dodged the invite all 3 times.
I actually have a thing for not wanting to at least debate GCs at least at a higher level yet, because I don't feel that I have the experience that they do. First off, and second off, I can't hold their feet to a topic that's actually like
They're
we're talking
professional
about.
dodgers, and that's
Yeah.
how they
They
became
don't
the
have any
GCs.
points.
If I
Like we
actually
can
was
see
the
it,
real
but they
one,
just
why did you
constantly
accept
do
me?
it.
Why did you accept me if I actually was the real one?
Oh, because it's my panel, I could hold your feet to the fire.
Good point. But thing is, I've had Edna in my panel before, which is funnier because I did nothing. Go debate Edna with that guy. Yeah, I've been debating doing this. Is Edna live right now? I might have to, and if I don't, I'm gonna screen record it and send it you on Discord. So,
Yeah, that'd be great if you did.
oh, should I?
Wait, the
if
GCs
I
are
don't-
Dodgers? That's quite funny, not gonna lie. Yeah, it is the GCs that are Dodgers, in fact. They are quite the
Yeah.
Dodgers fans.
Okay, if he's live right now, hold
The-
up. I'll be right back, people.
They are in fact big fans of watching Weasel footage, which is kind of a base thing.
Kind of a
Fucker.
base thing. God.
This is cold. Kind of like GC's hearts. Cold.
Are you gonna watch Edna debate Edna, or are you gonna hang out with us?
I can watch Edna debate Edna on
No,
my
I
phone.
meant India. Sorry, I totally wasn't clear too, because she's just chilling.
The Edna mode 1. Follow. Yeah. What is it that they dodge exactly? It's the questions. It's the topic. I too would desperately not want to talk about my ideas harming individuals if I was a GC. I too would be a weasel and try to get the fuck out of there as fast as possible. Like
They
that's coming
either
from
try
me.
to-
I'm a weasel enjoyer. I don't use the word weasel lightly. They're fucking weasels.
Yep. They'll either try to pick a more specific topic in which they feel like they can control things more, or they will try to change the topic from the specific ETH prompt that we have up right now. This is the thing that they always run from, because they don't like that we have the evidence to back this kind of thing.
They don't want to talk about the topics that actually matter, but like what we should do based off the evidence that we have. That's
Exactly.
what they'd run from. Do you see that somebody's watching us called SYBAU? It's quite the name. How was your day, Cole?
It was long. I got up like my typical time, which was good, but I actually I had to have my dad come downstairs to my room and be like, "Hey, do you smell something burning?" Because it smelled like that on and off to me, and that's not a symptom of seizure aura that I've had in over 6 years. So it was really unfamiliar. Well, it was really familiar, but like it just had been so long that I thought I was crazy. I thought I was tripping and something was actually burning down there. So I had Dad check, and he was like, "No, nothing smells like it's burning." And I was like, "Okay, awesome, cool." So I rested some more because sleep deprivation is probably the main reason that I was having seizure auras. And then I went to the allergist and I got a cluster shot appointment, which means I was there for like 3 hours, and they poked me a total of 8 times, which is so fun. But I like the cluster appointments because usually you only get poked twice, and then you only have to wait 30 minutes, which is better than 3 hours. But it takes a lot longer to get up to the baseline where you only have to get a shot once per month if you don't do clusters. So I'm glad I got that done. And then I came home. So here we are. Yeah, I was like at the end of my appointment when you said you were going live, and I was like, I will join at some point. I can't right now, but I will later.
We do have a request from Marisol.
I
don't know
think
if
from
I think.
there's a song called Marisol by one of my favorite
Wait,
artists.
hold
and
on.
it
I think
reminds-
Enda's up with Edna right now, apparently.
Ooh.
I might want to just tune into this for a
Hello?
second. Hi.
Hi. I'm 23, by the way.
Ah. Can I get your pronouns here real quick?
She, her.
Okay, thank you. Do you disagree with the prompt or have questions?
Yeah, I disagree. Strongly.
Oh, okay. Why do you disagree?
Okay, hang on. The primary driver of anti-trans policies is not protection. Life or death stakes of non-affirmation. How does non-affirmation cause death?
It causes it's life and death stakes. It doesn't mean that like if you affirm somebody that are going to die because of it. What it is it does put them at a greater risk. It being that we have data that shows that non-affirmation is the number one predictor of depression and suicide ideation.
Yeah, but they're still not the highest demographic of who's unaliving. Who's got unaliving.
Why are we only focusing on the highest and not just people with higher than normal rates of it?
Yeah, I live in
Okay,
the
so-
county that had the highest suicide or teen suicide rates in the U.S. for a number of years. I know what it looks like to have. I have friends who have died due to suicide. So like,
not affirming someone's gender and expression is like the catalyst for them unaliving themselves, and
Well-
then you say that it's not a
It
mental illness.
also
I just say
it
that's a
also
slippery slope.
normalizes
fallacy.
hatred against the community, which results in people getting attacked on the street, which I have several times, even though my
Okay.
city is
can
quite
you-
safe for.
Okay, like I mean that's antidotal and everything, and you know I don't condone
Antidotal?
that either. Antidotal. Yeah, I don't condone that. But there's no statistics that show that trans women who are being forced to use the male restrooms
Are
are
harmed?
Up to 4 times more
you're just
likely.
gonna
We'll
quote
let her
the
finish
Williams
real quick.
study.
We'll let her finish. But yes,
You're just
we
gonna
probably
quote like I'm not like yeah, I am presuming you're probably gonna quote the Williams study that says that they're 4 times more likely, but then again it's not empirical, it's just a study. I mean just a survey, sorry. If you can bring me like a few cases of trans women getting attacked in male bathrooms physically rather than just verbally, and yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, we would be able to find
That's-
it
Yeah, because
if
it
we
doesn't
don't
happen.
already.
So it doesn't happen.
These stats don't come out of nowhere. Like we're not pulling them out of our
There's
asses.
there's no stats, there's just surveys.
I actually
just, like,
wouldn't.
Surveys that are kind of bunk. And then I'd argue, even so, if it's detrimental for them to use restrooms for their gender identity, I'd say that gender identity, because it's behavioural, is fluid, and that we should just base it on autonomy rather than gender.
I simply do not care what we call a woman. What I simply care about is not harming individuals. So
Yeah,
I'm
but
gonna
I
make
think
that point very
I think this
clear.
is harmful for women, and it's more aggressive to
Ooh,
the
but we
the
don't have
majority of the
evidence to have that. And
What do
if
trans
you
women
don't have
keep from
evidence,
you?
it would be making a negligent claim. So you would actually
Okay,
just
so
be
you're just
being
gonna like
negligent.
Hitchman's razor me when I'm saying that like loads of women have been attacked in women's bathrooms
Well, we don't have evidence
by
that
trans women.
definitively
Do you
shows
know
that.
how
Yeah,
to
yeah,
use
yeah.
words
I
properly?
have the UK ministry stats
Yeah,
that show that
we all know that
73%
the
of
ministry stats are problematic if you actually understand
yeah,
confounding
How so?
factors.
How so?
Do you know what a
How so?
confounding factor is?
No. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So you do in fact do not have the boots for this hike if you do not understand what a confounding factor
Yeah.
is.
You've not refuted anything else I've said. You've just said a word that I don't know, and I've conceded and said I don't know, and then you're not explaining it.
So you should
And
get the
then
boots
saying
for a
that-
hike before you try to go on it.
Yeah,
don't you agree?
sure.
Okay,
So,
so
so you're just gonna say like everything that I'm saying bunk. You've not really told me how it's problematic. I'd
So
like
it's
you to explain that.
problematic for a number of reasons. First off, transgender individuals are sexually assaulted at some of the highest rates. And
Yeah.
we know
You've not provided
that,
me a source for that either. You've not provided me a source. You've just quoted a survey.
How do you think we understand this stuff?
Okay,
What the fuck are
provide
your
me a
Ministry
source
of
then.
Justice studies are?
Provide
That's a
me a
survey.
source. Provide me. Hang on. Provide me police reports.
Hold on. You're saying
I've
that
given you
studies are
police
not
statistics.
worthwhile, but then you literally provided a study that is a survey of
Yeah.
inmates.
It's not. No, mine's not a survey. That's the difference.
What's-
Mine's mine's based on why they're in prison.
Yeah, how did they get that information? They survey the demographic. Holy shit. You're relying on a survey while saying surveys are bunk. It's hilarious.
I mean, I wouldn't really say that's a survey. I'd just say that that's just saying what they're in there for, rather than just
so in the same
Trans
sense,
people
antidote
are
to
many
evidence
times more
that
likely to get into
verbal
sex work.
aggression in the same categorization as being like assaulted.
So yeah, the confounding factors regarding that is that, like I said, that transgender individuals are sexually assaulted at higher rates. I could provide
Show me the
countless studies for
source.
that.
Show me the source. If you're gonna Hitchman razor me and say that if I didn't provide a source, which I have cited a source, you'd say that what I'm saying is bunk, and you'd nullify
No,
what
no,
I'm saying. So
in
I'm
fact,
saying you
you're
provide a
saying-
source that isn't the Williams Institute survey.
Yeah, I don't know what the William Institute survey is. Mine's actually from.
Okay, so what are you citing? Like, what's your reference?
Mine is from Merchusian et al. From 2019, published in Pediatrics, School Restroom and Locker Room Restrictions and Sexual Assault Risk Among Transgender Youth, where
Okay,
they
can
check
you
survey
put that in the
responses
comments?
from. I can give you the
Again,
PYD.
it's an antidotal survey, and is it
that's not what
citing
anecdotes
verbal abuse
are.
as what is it? What are the categories of abuse? What are they deeming to be abuse?
I'm not actually sure. It does say sexual assault risk.
Take a deep breath. You sound like you're gonna have a panic attack every time you talk.
No, I'm not. I'm doing weights actually.
Actually,
chill
might
out,
ask somebody who has the actual proper.
Okay, yeah. So I'm
Ability
just
to
I'm gonna
access
just say
that.
that's bunk. I'm just gonna say that's bunk and say that you don't have the boots for this hike.
But I provided
And you would have no
source.
evidence.
Wouldn't it at least already be problematic if it was just verbal assaults too? Do you not
I'd
care
say
about
that
people being
even though I don't
harassed?
condone verbal assault, I'd say like there's a higher risk of like women actually getting like raped and like sexually assaulted by trans women. So I'd say
You just
that's
don't know stats.
Yeah.
Why do you think that trans women are just going around?
Just throw everything
Yes,
out there.
yep,
in
you
the
can
middle
talk
of
a
my
lot. I can talk a lot too. But I also have mute powers, which is fun. So, trans women are not assaulting men at the rates that you think that they are based off
I
of
didn't
your
say that,
study
no.
because you don't understand how the study is done and what it's actually saying as its results. We are trying to explain to you that it is not males, but rather men that are perpetuating this harm. And you are grouping trans women into that, I'm assuming. And
Yeah, that's
I'm not done yet. I'm not finished
Yeah,
speaking. And so, and you also like keep trying to over talk people, which isn't real cool.
That's a prerequisite.
So,
I can't be a trans woman 'cause I'm a woman.
you don't. Okay, listen,
Yeah,
dude. Can someone else do the muting more just for another couple seconds? Anyways, when it comes to the harm that's being perpetuated against women, it is over 90%, if I'm remembering correctly, by men, not by males. Therefore,
Okay, so-
you do not understand what you're talking about and the stats
Okay,
that
so
we're
why
bringing
are
up and
trans
trying to
women? Why
explain.
are trans women exempt from the statistics of men?
Because
So
they're
it's all
women.
men. Okay, so it's all men, it's all males until it's no males.
No, it's
they
all men
claim
until it's no
gender
men.
identity. Yeah, but they still have male pattern behavior.
Not
No.
trans men should be a part of that discussion. It's all men until it's no men. Trans men should be a part of that discussion because trans men are men. So like, I don't know what you want from me. Like, women are women, therefore they face
Okay,
misogyny and transphobia and the like.
Hang on. Can a trans man grape a woman?
Yeah,
Can he
but so
impregnate and
can
rape
a
a woman?
Anyone
no. she
We
can
cannot
can
impregnate.
grape. Trans men can grape anyone they want to.
No, they can't because it's penetration.
Oh my God.
It's penetration without consent.
Do you know what
Right.
fingers are?
Penetration of the phallus.
Do you
No,
know what
wait,
fingers are?
wait.
Do you have hands with fingers on them?
That's SA. That's not
No,
rape.
it's grape, at least
No,
by
it's
the
not,
U.S.
that's
laws.
It
No,
depends
no,
on how
no,
you
no.
define
I don't know
it.
what it is in the UK, but the U.S.
Cole,
laws.
Grape
by
apology
UK
grounds
standards, they
for
ruled that it
dropping.
can't be, and that it has to be physically penile penetration for some reason, which is stupid.
Yeah, I
It
agree.
is. In the
Why
U.S.,
rule
we have a
that?
little bit more sense on that front, and any penetration is considered to be grape over here, which is a stance that I take.
Okay, can you show me a source that says that trans women don't have male pattern behavior? And then can you tell me the parameters to being a trans woman?
Do you think that there are differences in the way we act based off of our hormone profiles, whether it's female or male?
Yeah, but I won't say it's all attributed to hormones.
That's not what I asked you.
And then I
So
think
yes,
that's kinda
your
gatekeeping if you're saying that the
your answer
parameters-
was yes, and my response is trans women oftentimes do not have male hormone profiles; they have female hormone profiles.
So is male aggression purely attributed to the hormonal?
No, it's
the
also the
dominant
patriarchy.
hormone? Okay, have they been socialized as men? As little boys, have
The
they been
fact,
socialized as
okay,
men?
you can have a woman
Does
that's.
the Y,
Let me finish. Let
gene attribute to aggression?
I'm answering the question that you asked. I'm answering the question that you asked. Yes. It would be like if you were raised under the patriarchy as a woman, yet you were still a victim of the patriarchy. That's what they experience.
I don't think they do. I think they're men, and I think it's even privileged.
You disagree with
to think that
science.
You can. I think it's even privileged to think that as
You disagree with science.
claims, by the way.
Oh, okay. I do
just
actually
like
have
I
do have an answer.
Love that for me.
I do have an answer on how they defined sexual assault. It says the question was during the past 12 months how many times did anyone force you to do sexual things that you do not want to do, such as kissing, touching, being physically forced to have sexual intercourse, etc.
Yeah, is this police reports or is this
Yeah, I
surveys?
think she was asking about the legality of it in the U.S.
Oh no!
And any
This
penetration.
was when they were yeah, this is I was able to in fact find what the study asked. So yeah, no, this is how they define sexual assault in that one study. Since you did ask, I did go search for it because it is a good study. And I grant that you don't want to admit the fact that transgender individuals are sexually assaulted more often when they are forced to go into bathrooms that they do not want to be. But the data does suggest that currently.
Yeah, but do you have the source?
But yes,
But you're the one that was stuttering. I was mocking you.
Oh,
Okay,
well, that's not
listen,
very
this
kind
is
of
your
you.
one your one
Yeah,
chance
there's
to
your
not be an
PMID
ableist.
and
But sorry,
PMCID in the
I have
chat.
to interject. If you are ableist again, I'm just gonna drop you because this is
Okay,
not even
no.
about ableism. Just
No,
don't be an ableist
I'm
fuck and you can
gonna
stay.
drop because, to be fair, you haven't cited any sources. You've just
I-
thrown
You're
ad
running. You're running. Don't run.
Yeah,
literally
I'm
threw
running
the
because
PMID
you're wasting
number in
my
the chat.
time.
Literally
threw the
just
PMID
put
in
the
the chat.
PMID in the chat. I don't see it. It might have gotten filtered, but
Yeah,
like
no, I
you
don't
asked
see
for a
it
source,
personally.
we're trying to give it to you, and you're trying to leave before we can.
Yeah, I don't think surveys are a good form of sources.
Dude, do you know what like peer-reviewed studies and meta-analyses are? That's what we're referencing.
So it's not a survey.
Well, this is a direct survey. It's a response.
Yeah,
to
I'm
the,
saying,
or
do
analysis
you
of the
have police
surveys.
statistics? Do you have crime statistics? Because I have crime statistics.
I do. I can also look at crime statistics. Look in areas where there were laws against transgender individuals going into bathrooms of their.
Yeah, good. I agree.
Where is it at?
Want the source? Because we are getting it.
Yeah, and
All
you're
you
gonna
have to
love
do
this
is
one
stay.
because you seem to hate the Williams Institute already.
Yeah, I don't. I think it's a true and loving website, to be fair.
Ooh, well, honey, you don't have to out yourself as a GC that hard.
Yeah, well, I did. Thought that was pretty apparent.
I mean, if I use the word transphobe, which is accurate, she might throw a hissy fit. Who knows?
I'll use it. You're a transphobe, bigot.
Yeah, I don't care.
Then you just conceded. You do
Yeah,
not
yeah, I don't
care
care. Yeah, I
about the
don't
life
care.
or death stakes of non-affirmation.
Yeah, I don't care. I thought I made that pretty clear.
Oh,
I
so
don't
you don't
care
care about
that you're a
children?
shit person.
Do you not care about children? That's pretty
There's no
fucking
such thing
horrific
as a
of you.
trans child. There's no such thing.
Yeah, and there's no such thing as a kind GC. They don't exist.
Yeah, sure.
Because
I agree.
I could actually show you a trans child. You unfortunately cannot show a kind GC because they have to in fact disregard things such as trans children in order to give this idea
I don't think
that
there's
they're
such thing as a trans child.
okay, but I just don't think that you're a good person, and I have evidence for it because
Okay,
you don't
yeah,
care
that's
about
fine.
trans
That's
children.
fine. That's your opinion.
Oh wait. So if they're not trans children, then they're actually just cisgender children. So you just don't like children.
Yeah, they're
You
just
don't
children.
care about
They're just
children being abused.
They're just children.
Oh, so when children are being abused, by going to
No,
conversion therapy and
Don't
stuff.
steal what I'm saying. I'm not saying. Well, what are you defining as abuse in this situation?
Just any sort of mental coercion, such as like conversion therapy.
Yeah. I'd say that. I think is it 82% of them normally grow up to be like.
Ooh, you
masculine.
should really, you should really look at what the stats are about that and how they found that out. 82, I can probably actually cite you the exact source of where that came from.
Okay, cool.
Glad you decided to say so an example like how all of your thoughts and talking points aren't actually in line with science.
Okay, cool. You don't know what's a woman?
I simply don't care about what a woman is.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
Exactly. So we can't talk about science if you don't know like the
Well,
fundamentals.
you see, I
You don't know
simply
what a
don't
woman
care
is.
about semantics when people
Yeah,
are being
yeah.
harmed.
I don't care either. I don't care either.
Oh,
Like,
okay, but
what's your
people are being
point?
harmed, so you shouldn't care about semantics. We agree.
No, I don't care.
So let's not get
I
into
don't
the
care.
semantic debate.
I
when
don't
people are being
care.
harmed.
Exactly.
I don't
The
care about males.
listen, the difference between you and Stowe is that Stowe doesn't care about semantics and does care about
asking
life or
what a
death.
woman
No,
is
no, no,
is-
no, no.
it
You're
boils
not.
down
You
to-
don't have the talking stick. You said you're 23, I believe. You are acting like you're 2. Calm down. Thank you. Oh, there she goes.
Pussy.
But anyways, I was just gonna say that like she pretty much just said she was a shit person and doesn't care about life or death stakes or semantics when the host does care about life or death stakes and doesn't care about semantics. That's the difference.
Yeah, it's I was just going to start bringing up the fact that whenever anybody's referencing a number anywhere between 80 to 85% for desistance rate, It comes from Zucker studies that Zucker oversaw, where they literally just said, oh, people who had some sort of gender nonconformity were considered transgender, but then they didn't consider them transgender if they didn't have further gender dysphoria, and weren't consistent about having gender dysphoria about it. And there's
Exactly.
methodological reasons to try to inflate the numbers. It would have given the study better publicity.
I'm so sad that she ran. You're welcome back up. Like, I know you're listening, so like just come back up if you want. But sorry, go ahead. That just would have been too devastating to her perspective, I guess.
Oh my god, I have the article. This is wonderful. I have the full article. Thank you, friend. Yeah, no, I will just keep that in my download folder, and it will never go anywhere else. Sorry, Cole, you didn't know.
Hi, Lou.
Oh, Lou's here?
I just saw that they joined.
Oh,
Or she? What are their pronouns?
she. She's
Okay.
just an Australian,
Cool.
I think.
I do know that she's an Australian.
I mean,
but-
I don't want to be stereotypical, but she has a lot of fucking pink for if she wasn't a girl, and Lou's a pretty girly name. Like, so, I think that it's
Her gender's Australian.
she identifies as shrimps on the bow. I'm sorry, that was awful. No, I have Australian.
I'm
friends
not
too.
even gonna attempt.
I identify as a shrimp on a bar being fucking cooked some days. Just absolutely roasted. No.
Hi, Destina. I feel like sorry. I feel like I haven't seen your name here before. I might not know who you are, but hi. You said sup, so like hi. I just wanted to say like
Individuals such as yourself are exactly why trans people are facing the backlash they are. Enough. Why? Nick, you wanna come on? Come here, Billy. Come here, boy.
here, Nikki. He left. He was out of here.
I'm actually surprised how good of a debunk that the AI overview provides. It fucking just throws the brick at like it throws basically all the reasons why that they're flawed and had methodological issues. Yeah. That's great. Thanks, Google. You actually have a decent AI that can do stuff.
Yeah, and
I
I
found
don't know
a
if
really
it's sorry, go ahead.
really funny trick with AI. If you give a citation to an AI, it can actually bypass like pay gates and give you information from the study.
Yay, thanks for sharing.
Yeah. It's actually kind of funny how you can do that, but you just give it the citation. Don't give it the URL, because otherwise it'll hallucinate sometimes and think you're thinking of a different study. I don't know why.
Got it.
But if you just give it the citation, it can actually bypass.
A request? Sorry.
Yeah, Classy, I agree. At times AI really fucks it up though. At times. Yeah. They're known to hallucinate a bit.
Hello?
Hello? Can I get your age and pronouns, please?
19 and just he or him, I guess.
Okay. Do you disagree with the background?
A little bit, especially in younger children.
Okay, and why would that be? Do you have a reason to think that transgender children aren't, in fact, who they say they are?
It depends on circumstances, because I was about to say that like I disagree with puberty blockers and like hormone therapy, but there's also a medical reason for those things. But I generally disagree with gender affirmation in children.
Ooh, so you would generally agree with harming children, because that's in fact what studies show happens whenever you don't affirm their
No,
gender.
no. If my 4-year-old, no, God
Yeah.
of logic, you You didn't even give me a chance to like fully explain myself before you guys just started. I don't even know. You
Are
guys.
you having
no,
a
no, because
conversation
he-
with the comments or us?
Well, I mean, he's gonna try to get you to.
How about you just focus on us?
Yeah, right. If my 5-year-old is saying if I have a 5-year-old boy, okay,
Uh-huh.
and we're strolling through Walmart, for instance,
Mhm.
and he's like, there's like a Barbie dress or whatever, and he's like, "Oh, I want to wear this." I'd be like, "Hell no, that's what little girls wear, not little boys."
Okay. So I'm just gonna present you with the simple fact of the matter that the lack of family support for transgender people is the largest predictor of suicide ideation. It also leads to poor mental health, substance abuse, and adverse life outcomes. So by you not actually, if your child was in fact trans, what you'd be doing is actually putting them down a worse path in life. That doesn't seem very loving to me. And actually, it seems almost like abuse. Like you should not be able to get to take care of your child because these outcomes are so much worse than the
And or you
stereotypical
just
people.
shouldn't have children.
Yeah.
Right. So if you have a 3-year-old that is talking because they're out of lack of confusion, right? Like they don't know that they're a boy, or they know they're a boy, right? But they don't know what's designated for girls, stuff like that. You're gonna affirm to them that yes, that they should start endorsing themselves in female stuff.
Not
Why
necessarily, no.
is clothing or toys or anything like that, why is that gendered to you? Do you not believe that masculine women and feminine men exist?
Yes, but those are. I think we should leave that up to adulthood.
Do you not think that feminine boys and masculine girls exist?
As in, like, well, I mean, yeah, you got like. Are you saying like as in like tom girls, or just masculine
That's
girls in
one
general?
way to view them. It's
I
guess a
guess,
subset
yeah.
of masculine women.
Masculine girls. I'm talking specifically about girls and boys because you said in adulthood it should be fine, and we're talking about being kids right now. So do you not think, because you're saying that a certain type of clothing is quote unquote girls' clothing, so you wouldn't let your
Well,
3-year-old
right, 'cause
boy pick it out?
In my personal opinion, which you guys may disagree with, obviously, I think letting little things build up towards what would be considered things associated with the opposite gender of children is what eventually leads them to have thoughts that, hey, I'm not my birth gender.
I was raised as a pastor's kid for the first 11 years of my life. Do you think that my parents growing up were okay with me being queer in any sense of the word?
Probably not, no.
Yet I am still pansexual and non-binary at the end of the day. And my sister, who is older than me and had to deal with this longer than I did, is still trans and married to a woman. So, like, that just proves your point right there. Like, a lot of us grow up in societies that are trying, in family households, that are trying to do exactly what you would do and say, no, you can't do this. No, you shouldn't be that. And we still end up being queer trans folks. How do you explain that?
Even myself, I even though I'm not trans, I grew up in a household where I always thought I was insane for an undiagnosed condition that I had.
Who's speaking? Who just said that? I'm sorry, I didn't show up like the blue border or anything.
Oh, me, the host, Stotsky. I grew up and I was autistic, and I was not diagnosed until I was 23. And a lot of the problems that come with autism were used against me as to show me that I'm lesser, and I grew deeply depressed and attempted to take my own life. This is exactly the same kind of thing that happens in transgender individuals, even at a young age, when they're just simply not affirmed for being who they are, because like this is who they are. I was autistic. I am always going to be autistic because it's the way my brain developed. Transgender individuals likewise have their brain develops in a certain way, and nothing that you do is ever going to shake this idea. Go ahead, Palm.
So
nothing makes us trans other than the incongruence with her sex. Like there's nothing that causes it. Now some people come out maybe earlier due to environmental things, and some people may come out earlier just because they feel free to express themselves, and some people may come out later because they're not in the right environment. But that doesn't mean anything influences them, because nothing influences us.
Amen to that.
It's just who we are. I mean, I told
Right.
my mom at 8 years old, not that I was
so-
trans, not that I was trans because I didn't know the word trans, but I told her what gender I was. Yeah, like I already knew, and I
So
told.
I don't want you guys to feel as though like I'm against anybody in the LGBTQ community. I just like I feel like we should leave gender affirmation. Now I agree with like therapy stuff like that is helpful to children, right? Like counseling, like mental therapy. But I think we should leave out conversations like
And if the therapist thinks that gender, like transition, is the right path to help your child, what would you do?
I don't think
That's-
I'll.
Therapy for 2 years is the first.
You read my mind, Astrid. I was gonna ask that.
The
It's the start of transition as a child.
right,
You
but
can't
I
do
don't think we should
anything medical before that.
I don't think my child should be taking estrogen or any hormone that stops their current development at a young age because it has long-term side effects.
They mainly do that at a certain age, and it depends on what type of hormones. Because like, there are mainly for like the kids who want to transition younger. They wait until the age of like they're supposed to start puberty. That's when they go on the hormones, and hormone blockers aren't entirely harmful when you're on them for a short period of time to wait for your actual puberty to come into effect. Because that's what people with precocious puberty do. They wait a short amount of time until they can actually start their puberty normally again.
Exactly. And I don't know if you're still listening off app, but like you have to acknowledge that sending your kid through a puberty that doesn't ultimately align with who they are could be absolutely detrimental and has been to people. For example, if you have if you have a trans masculine person as well, and you don't allow them to be on puberty blockers so that they can determine what puberty is right for them, and you don't allow them to use cross-sex hormones when they are adolescents and need to go through puberty, you are going to give them extreme mental health problems, and you're going to make the cost of their transition a lot higher because that child will grow breasts and that will not align with them necessarily, and then they will need to go on to get top surgery. You're putting your child through an unnecessary surgery potentially when you don't allow them to be on puberty blockers long enough to figure out if they're trans or not and what puberty they need to go through initially, and when you don't provide them access to HRT.
Do you think people should be
Also,
taking
going through second puberty really sucks.
Agreed.
What were you gonna ask?
What's the cause of second puberty?
HRT, bro.
Yeah.
So like I'm just saying like why would you want to go through that?
They don't.
We don't, but we need
don't. That's
to
why
relieve
people-
dysphoria.
Yeah, like it's not like we want to go through the second puberty, but since we go through the first puberty when we don't want to begin with, and then when we're older we go through the transition of HRT, we're basically forced to go through a second puberty regardless. So like,
And that's
That's
exactly
why-
what he's advocating for. Sorry,
Yeah.
go ahead.
that's why I said that like when it comes to kids going on HRT, if they go on hormone blockers to stop the certain hormone development processes, that would be up until they actually get to go on are supposed to start puberty, and that's when they go on HRT to start their first puberty. See, that's an easier transition for a child, but when you're an adult, and you didn't have, and you already had your first puberty, you're gonna be forced to go through it again, which is not easy. I'm a little scared to go through my second puberty, because my first puberty fucking sucked. But it's something we're still forced to go through because we weren't able to go through the proper hormone processes to begin with, because we were forced to go through the typical one. Do you see what we're getting at on that?
I see your point, right? Or like,
Yeah.
like I guess what you're trying, not what you're trying to say, because you are saying it. Like, I get what you're saying, but I just
If you need me to reword it, I can try. I have a
no,
hard
no,
time
no.
with the English language. I do apologize.
If if I say I get what you're saying, then I'm kind of in like agreement, but I'm not. Does that make sense?
Well, you understand what I'm saying,
Yes,
but
I understand
you
what
don't
you're saying.
agree with it in the thing. You still don't agree
Yes,
with
yes.
children going through it. But
But
like
it's
you,
more than
you
it's more than me disagreeing with the children's aspect of it. People don't realize the. I feel like a lot of people don't research and are not taught the side effects of taking hormone blockers and
Listen, you have to be in therapy for years prior to it, and they make you sign an informed consent that the doctor, the parent, and the child all sit through a reading of before they are sent home with a copy of it to read it again, and then they sign it and they send it, and then they
right.
take
That's
steps from there. And
that's why.
Palm's gonna go next. Palm has talking stick.
and not just that, but it depends on how long you're on puberty blockers for, and what age you go on puberty blockers for as well. As someone who went through precocious puberty myself and was only on puberty blockers when I was 2 because I started growing a chest at 2. It didn't cause a lot of damage to my body because I was only on it for a certain amount of time.
You started them when you were 2?
Yeah, I was growing a chest at 2 years old.
So
I had precocious puberty at a very young age. They,
So-
or at
so
least I
are
think
you-
it was puberty blockers.
are you
They gave me-
yourself trans? I'm sorry, I didn't.
Yes,
know if
I
you-
am trans.
From what, male to female or female to male? Or you
Female-
gonna be female?
I'm female to male.
Yeah, sorry, I shouldn't have even asked that. It's kind of like obvious. I'm sorry.
But
No, you should have asked that. Thank you for asking that, and maybe don't follow up with something disrespectful next time you do
because
something respectful.
He said that he had started growing a chest, so I could have just implied that.
Oh,
I-
well, I guess that's fair. I
Yeah.
retract my statement.
No, I didn't
Sorry,
mean that
I-
in a disrespectful way. Sorry.
It's common that it's just based off of his voice, which he's expressed before. So I just want to make sure that we're not doing that. But you're so fair, and that was my bad for kind of. And I heard it the first time, but
I don't care.
Yeah.
but yeah, like I went through precocious puberty, started growing a chest at 2. They put, I don't remember this because I was 2 years old, but from what I was told, I was put on some medication to stop that because a 2-year-old shouldn't be going through that. I started, after that, they took me off. I did start growing a chest at 5, started my period at 8 years old. The puberty blockers didn't have any detrimental effect to me because I was only on it for, I wouldn't say like a short amount of time because it was a couple of years, but I was put on something to help the precocious puberty. I don't know why they took me off before 5, but whatever.
Why would your parents this is why I'm saying that this should be like an adulthood thing. Why would your parents let you go through
Precocious
that
puberty.
pain?
They didn't let me go through precocious puberty. They tried to help me every step of the way not to go through precocious puberty and not to that's why they tried to help put me on puberty blockers because a 2-year-old shouldn't be growing a chest. The doctors are the ones that took the puberty blockers and took the medicine that was stopping that away. My parents fought for it, and by the time they were trying to put me back on it again, I was already at the age where puberty should have been started.
Yeah,
I started puberty way too young.
I feel like, that happens naturally to some people though.
Yeah, but it's not something that should naturally
It's not
happen.
healthy.
Because guess
Well,
what it caused? It caused a stunted voice, stunted height, underdevelopment of my genitals, and overdevelopment of my genitals.
Yeah, hormone blockers.
No, it was that was not hormone blockers.
Yeah.
Hormone blockers did not do that. Precocious
Hormone blockers were
puberty.
invented to treat precocious puberty.
Precocious
Yeah, I'm
puberty.
aware of the
Precocious puberty caused me to have underdeveloped genitals and developed genitals, and also caused my height and looks and voice to be stunted. Hormone blockers were the only thing that could stop me from getting those side effects, but the doctors took that away from me. Precocious puberty is extremely harmful, especially when you have estrogen levels way higher than the normal amount. Did you know your body can try to overdose you on your own natural hormones? That is extremely dangerous. Hormone blockers are something that is extremely important, not just for trans people, but for cis people as well.
Absolutely. And somebody said in the comments, and I believe that the guest is also implying at the very least, it shouldn't be at 2 years old, dude. Okay. I'm just want to address that. You are advocating for a 2-3-year-old to go through a full-on puberty at that age, if you believe that and if you're saying that. And that is sick. Get help.
Because that is physically damning and dangerous to the child.
It's been researched and proven that hormone blockers in trans people cause bone density issues.
It can,
Ooh,
so
growth.
hormone blockers can
this
for a
is-
lot.
This is in fact
sorry.
something I have spent hours researching. It in fact does
Indeed.
not. So what it does is it's actually this is I can see sort of how people get this misunderstanding of it. But it's looking at, so what happens is that people look at they use Z-scores to compare to like their peers. But the problem about using Z-scores are like, so you would like look at your so if you take somebody's Z-score, their Z-score is looking at their like height, weight, bone density, yada yada, comparing it to their peers. And what they see in the studies is that when people go on puberty blockers, their Z-scores start to decrease. But when you actually look at the absolute numbers of the bone density, the bone density actually stays about the same, which is what we would expect if we stopped puberty. It's almost as if stopping puberty, in fact, stops the effects of puberty. But when they are allowed to go onto gender-affirming hormones, or they stop taking the puberty blockers, their bone density rapidly increases back up to just what we would expect to be normal Z-scores for bone
Y'all,
density.
I'm really sorry to interject, but I need to obviously take accountability on the level that I spewed accidental misunderstanding of Blue here, and I think this is Blue that I follow on other accounts maybe. They're awesome, but like it was out of context, and I'm autistic, so I'm sorry. They meant nobody should go through puberty at 2, not that nobody should be on puberty blockers at 2. But I still think it's relevant in the way that Guest was suggesting it and implying it at the time. But yeah, I just wanted to say, I'm sorry, Blue.
Right. So what about people that blast tests and then have a really high red blood cell count?
That's different than just puberty blockers.
Well, I was mentioning puberty blockers and
Okay,
hormones.
yeah. So hormones are a bit different. Those do have like there are very clear things such as testosterone that do cause issues if you take far too high of a dose. These are things that need to be discussed with people and are going to be talked about if somebody goes through with gender affirming hormones.
I mean, you guys would disagree with me here, right? Like, if you're born, by my definition, female, right?
No,
And
it's
you're
denying their birth sex.
and you produce estrogen naturally,
I hate estrogen.
your body is going to have horrible side effects when you start introducing testosterone. Same way if you
Do
are
you
born
think that our bodies
No.
only have one of them?
We do
No, but
naturally
you have-
produce
you have
both
them-
of them.
And it's
Right,
not going
but-
to have absolute horrible side effects. People think that if you go on another hormone, it's absolutely going to destroy your body. That's incorrect. Did you know that women on menopause go through testosterone HRT because of their low libido? That doesn't harm them. Now, does it?
That's actually why you have, like, if you're
Right,
on
but
HRT, you have to get your hormone
going
levels
to be
checked every
taking-
3 months. Hello?
Right, because there's cardiovascular risk, there's a liver risk.
No, because if you want you have to have your hormones in the right range to actually get like
Yeah.
the effects you want. And like, for example, if you take too much estrogen, you get masculinizing effects and like health problems. But because my hormones are in like a female range right now, my hormone sex is female. I actually just got my blood.
Just don't understand my.
But even your natural hormones can cause harm to you. So like it doesn't matter if you're going on to HRT, your natural hormones can immediately cause harm to you as well.
Your natural. I'm not trying to. This kind of sounds like a smart ass response, but your natural anything can harm you. But I just don't understand.
Yeah.
I just don't understand putting your body through so much change and possible risk.
It's not like immediate change either. Like the thing is, when it comes to hormones, as Astrid, is that how I say your name?
Yeah, it's Astrid.
Astrid
Yep.
was talking about you're she, right? You go by she, her?
Yes, they do.
Okay.
Sorry.
She's in the
I'm working
normal.
right now, so
No, it's okay. She's in the normal hormone range, and it actually takes a slow process to get within that range, because they don't just immediately like pump your body up with hormones. That's extremely harmful. It's a slow process, and it takes your body a while to adjust to that process, and your body will naturally start to adjust to that process and change into that puberty. That is why they get a second puberty. So it's not going to completely destroy your body. Actually, there are some trans women that I know who, when they went on estrogen, their health improved. Such as a friend of mine, her cholesterol levels and everything got a lot better, and she was no longer in like a bad zone on that. So like, I don't think it's
me
incredible.
too, actually. My
Nice.
I had like hypertension, and my heart rate and like blood pressure went down when I went on HRT.
Yeah, it actually can be more helpful than anything on HRT. And I think a lot of trans women get actually good side effects from going on estrogen. So I don't see the harm that entirely it's causing. And a high red blood cell count, yes, can be bad, but that's why you have doctors looking out for it, and you even have doctors looking out for your natural hormone levels too, because as I stated, your natural hormones can harm you as well.
But I've just seen so many adults testify that they regret their transition so much because of the adverse health effects.
So
who?
I have
Doris?
a
I
lot
can't.
of
I don't have names memorized. I've just seen so many videos.
so you can look at a lot of videos.
Your
but
anecdotal evidence
Yeah, we
is
can look at the
heard
absolute
and
numbers
disregarded.
and actually see that the regret rates, even among some of like the most anti-trans research papers, have shown like really quite small.
0.6.
Yeah, the CAS review has 0.3 of clear regret, where people like just said, "Oh, what, being trans isn't for me."
But that's still people that have regret though.
Yeah,
And if-
but compared to the people who
if they have-
don't, way more people regret
Knee
not
surgery has a
transitioning.
40% regret rate.
Yeah, and winning the lottery has like
I
a
don't know what you
30%
just said. I'm sorry.
regret rate. So,
I heard 40% something. I didn't hear the.
knee
entire
surgery
story.
has a 40% regret rate. So, yeah, things have regret rates. But in the overall picture of things, people are much happier after this, when compared to people who are not allowed to or than before. There's a lot of studies too that go out there and just compare them to their like cisgender peers who don't have any of the pressures of being trans. And that's clearly just like a statistical error. You're not going to compare to see if this is something that's good for them versus bad. We don't compare people to don't have like who are just not in the same ballpark. If we see if people are happy with their knee performance after knee surgery, we don't compare them to people who don't have problems with their knees in the first place. That would just be a really dumb thing to do, but a lot of the research still does it for some dumb reason.
I think This sounds contradicting, right? But in terms of adulthood, I do think that you should just let people do whatever, right? Like I may disagree with their stuff, but it's not my responsibility to go out and limit people what they do, unless it's like harming other people, obviously. But I think a main reason that people disagree with sorry, my dog got to go. 1 second.
It happens. They're dogs.
The main reason people disagree is because of an engineered moral panic created by the conservatives in the 2010s.
I mean, you could argue that, but at the same time, I feel like a majority of people just generally don't care about certain things, and it's not in like a disrespectful way. I see how it can be taken as disrespect, but me personally, right?
Then leave us the hell alone.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You shouldn't go out and attack people that do things that you don't do. But like, for instance, when this is a very, very generalized statement that I'm about to make. So like, if don't take it literally, but I think the reason a lot of people just generally don't care about things involving the LGBTQ community is because they're not a part of it and it doesn't really affect them, and they just don't want it. They don't want it being, I guess, I'm not gonna say pushed down their throat, but like they don't care to hear about anything related to it because like they don't have a reason to, unless it's something like promoting that, you know, LGBTQ people are people, then yeah, people should hear that. But when it comes to the actual aspects of it, most people just don't care.
I think that they should, though, because like there is really good reasons to care. Even if you completely hate trans people, it still actually hurts cisgender people. Like, people get caught in this crossfire, and they literally are catching strays and being like hurt.
But
I know
like,
people have been hurt by things such as thinking that they're trans instead of actually addressing medical issues. This is something that happens to trans people and cisgender people probably about as often as each other, honestly. It's something that's it's called trans broken arm syndrome, and it's really quite horrible. It's accidental or purposeful malpractice in medical communities, just simply because somebody, you know, you perceive them as trans and you associate these issues with them being trans or something like
well,
that.
that's just morally wrong in the first place.
Yeah, but also it's that if we that non-acceptance of transgender people just simply hurts them. It does. It leads to worse life outcomes. And at that
think
point, if you don't care about people, then I simply don't have any reason to listen to you. If you can't care
people
about children and the lives that they're gonna live, then I don't have any time to care about you. And that's kind of like
people can embrace themselves as much as they would like, right? I'm in support of that, but I think sometimes the LGBTQ community gets to a point where it's like they're trying to embrace themselves towards other people to a point where it's too much.
Well, their embracement of themselves doesn't hurt you. Your rejection of them does hurt them. That's the
Right,
difference.
but let's just say people that weren't in the LGBTQ. This sounds very stupid, right? But let's just say someone started like a straight parade down the street, right? And they went embracing the fact that they're straight everywhere. No one's gonna care.
Here we go.
Potentially not. But at the same time, I think it's not analogous, because when trans people are trying to fight for their rights, it's because they're having their actual ability to make choices. The very thing that makes us human, our ability to make choices and you know, make impacts on our lives. People are taking this away. It may not be, you know, hating them, but it is dehumanizing, and it is unacceptably
Well, that's
wrong.
why I said.
So, do you know the reason why straight pride parades are a thing, and why the straight pride thing is just ridiculous?
I did say that it's a stupid analogy to make before I said it. I'm just repeating that. Sorry.
Okay, fair enough.
But
Like,
it's
because like queer people were being murdered by the
Right.
government, by the
That's what I'm
police.
saying. People should embrace themselves, right? But like, you have to, like I said, some people just genuinely don't care about
Then
other
if
things
they don't care, why
besides.
are they trying to legislate us out of existence? Like, I can't
And
go
that's
to the
where
United
that's why
States because I'm
that's where I
trans.
agree with you guys. Like you shouldn't be implementing policy to take away people's rights just because you disagree with them or just because you don't care.
Well, then, but you
I
clearly
think
are doing that though, because you say that you don't want people such as children going puberty blockers, even though we know that this is something that's generally seen
well,
as
it,
something helpful for them and doesn't have downsides if they just stop taking them or if they go on gender affirming hormones. The only problem
but
is
like
when you force somebody to take
a
puberty
two
blockers for far like many years. That can
not
cause some
to
problems.
not to call it like pomegranate in a bad way, right? But I don't think pomegranate at 2 years old fully comprehends all the side effects associated with taking.
Oh, what side effects would that be?
For not being forced to go through puberty at a young age, they can't.
You think she's
I don't care. To be honest, I'm glad they put me on puberty blockers at 2.
Well, I mean,
Growing a
you're gonna say that
chest?
now if you agree with it, right? But like,
Well, no. Like
Growing a
it's
chest at 2?
a baby can't consent to open heart surgery, but they don't have a fucking choice. It could kill them. That's
That
the
could've-
situation that was going on. Basically, it put their
Yeah.
life
So,
at much higher risk of like adverse outcomes. It's
so
it's something
Brox, do
that's
you really
necessary.
think that a baby or toddler should be able to go through puberty?
I've already said that. Like, if it's a medically, if it's something medically related, then it's an exception because it's medical related.
Then why bring it up in the fucking first place? Because, yeah, no, I couldn't consent, but I'm still glad they did it, because if I were to go through puberty at 2 years old, like that was going to happen, I would have had way more medical issues than I do
Right.
now.
But like, what if you're I don't. What age can you start
Brox,
taking
he
hormone
literally
blockers
said that he was
for the
going through
fact?
precocious puberty, and you said that precocious puberty being a medical reason would be a sufficient reason.
Right. I wasn't when I said I'm calling out pomegranate, I wasn't necessarily saying their specific like circumstance. I'm talking about the age more than anything. I should have clarified that. I'm sorry.
Well,
Yeah, and at
like
his age, he was going through that.
it's
Right,
clear
right.
that
I'm talking
kids
about
at 2 years old can't make an informed decision about things. They can't communicate probably at all to begin with, let alone understand
Yeah.
what they're saying as much. But it is clear that somebody at the age of 9, 10, they have an understanding of who they are as themselves, and they should be able to express themselves as they see fit.
right. So if you
And
start taking things that are going to transition you, right, and you're 9 years old.
it doesn't transition
Oh,
you.
who's going through
It
Tanner
is in
stage 2 at
fact
9 years?
yeah, it is in
I
fact
don't know.
puberty blockers prevent you from transitioning, if anything.
Well, and I want to know what
Right.
9-year-old is going through Tanner stage 2.
I don't believe that you go through that at 9 years old. I'm just saying for reference, right? If my
Okay, then
child,
they
if
wouldn't
my
be starting
child,
on, then they would
if
not
my
be starting
child
on
is willing
puberty
to
blockers
start,
at 9 years old unless it was a precocious puberty situation.
if it's non-medical related, right? It's just for the solo fact that my child feels like they're a different identity that they were born with,
What does
and it
WPATH
requires them
say
to.
in regards to getting on to puberty
I'm sorry. What
blockers?
I didn't hear what you said. I'm sorry.
What does the WPATH say in regards to puberty blockers? When are they supposed to start them? When is
What
the
age?
earliest, I should say?
Are you asking what age do I think that it's recommended in terms of like being
What
trans or
age,
medically?
when it comes to trans children, let's
Okay.
specify to trans children, at what age has the minimum age, or what development stage is the minimum stage that's required in order to go on puberty blockers?
Is it like 14 years old? I could be wrong.
It is Tanner stage 2.
So that's
Which
like
starts at.
that's like the starting of
Never mind. It's different for everybody. But
yeah, it's different for everybody. So like these
But
are
you're trying to say that trans children are starting this at 9 years old. I want to know what 9 years old is going through puberty Tanner stage 2.
I don't know.
So then it's not analogous, is it?
What does analogous mean? I'm sorry, I forgot.
So how is it analogous to somebody who's going through precocious puberty at 9 versus somebody who is getting gender affirming care at 9?
I don't remember what the word analogous means. I'm sorry.
They're not synonymous. They're not.
Oh, okay.
They're not comparable.
How are they not comparable?
How are they comparable when one is regarding precocious puberty, the other one is regarding gender affirming care, which you need to be going through puberty Tanner stage 2.
That's what I'm saying. I disagree with gender affirming care at a young age.
What young age do you disagree with it?
Before your body has stopped developing.
Interesting. So what if I was to tell you that the University of Utah School of Pharmacy actually disproved that?
Disprove what? That it's harmful?
Disproved that it was harmful. Yes, that actually they actually have a 1,051 page meta-analysis on the benefits of gender affirming care for pediatric patients.
I don't just think it's harmful physically. I think it's harmful mentally as well.
They need to substantiate that. They need to substantiate that with some sort of evidence. So, do you have some sort of supporting evidence from a major medical or scientific institution like what I was able to provide?
I guess using my reasoning, I can.
Your reasoning backed up by what evidence from what major medical or scientific institution?
I've read a bunch of different things from several different medical studies. I don't.
Cool. Bring one.
I can't list specific names. Like you guys have to realize that you guys talk about this stuff all the time, right? So when you're defending somebody, you can. Sorry, my dog just got really crazy for a second. You can defend somebody with evidence, saying, "Oh, I got it from this study, from that study," right?
You're the one that's making the positive claim that it is harmful to pediatric patients to go through this. So substantiate it.
I've researched from several different websites over the
Can you
the
provide
years.
one?
If you'd like, I can open my computer and find you
I'm literally
a
pulling up my
resource.
source. Want to see it?
ChatGPT doesn't count.
I'm not using
I don't chat
ChatGPT.
GPT stuff for arguments. That's not real
This is
evidence.
the University of Utah School of Pharmacy, gender affirming care, gender affirming medical treatments for pediatric patients with gender dysphoria. 1,051 pages on the benefits of it. This was funded by the state of Utah because they were trying to ban gender affirming care for pediatric patients because they were trying to find some sort of empirical evidence that supports them in their wanting to ban it. It backfired on them so badly that it actually became a 1,051 page meta-analysis on the benefits of it. It backfired on them so badly that this year they could not ban gender affirming care in pediatric patients because they didn't have the medical reasons to do it.
Yeah, it's almost as if like this stuff is actually just good for people and we back it as a result. It's not that we've walked into this stuff saying, oh, this is, just what we've done, so it's helpful. People say they like it. It's that we've gone through systematically every single process and said, hey, what is going on and what are we doing and why are we doing it? And we're asking people. We're really concerned because scientists understand that these are people's lives at stake here. Like this is something like that. Some of these things can't be easily reversed. Like puberty blockers can be. But like gender affirming hormones, the effects of hormones can be lifelong in some stakes or in some cases. But that
in this situation, you could easily be like, well, there's a conspiracy surrounding the care of gender affirming care in pediatric patients. And but yeah, this was funded by a government that was wanting to ban it. So that eliminates that whole theory in and of itself.
Like the CAS report has a lot of good things if you look deep enough and actually look at the statistics yourself. It mentions, and not just take the summaries that the CAS basically gives.
So Brox, do you have anything like that supports you?
I would have to pull up my sources that I've read from.
Okay,
to provide you the exact name.
Okay, I'm waiting.
Yeah, give me 1 sec. I'm researching LS Skaggs College.
And it also
Indeed.
seems
What am I
that
researching? Why?
J.K. Rowling's Twitter.
You're the one that said that it is
That's
harmful in
funny.
pediatric patients. Please substantiate that using some sort of supporting evidence from a major medical or scientific institution, please.
I said it's harmful for young children to go through
When you're saying young, like how young?
like between the ages of like 6 and like 12.
yeah, we are forcing kids to go
Nobody
through
is.
puberty at that
What
point.
child is going through medical transition at ages 6 through 12?
I wasn't referring to medical transition. Well, I guess I was, but I'm saying like
Okay, if you're not mentioning medical transition, how are clothing, a haircut, and a name change harmful?
because like I disagree that should be done at that age.
Changing, so a kid saying, "I want to wear this instead of this" is harmful.
There's levels to wearing different clothing or doing different things.
Okay,
Like
so
if obviously if I wear
sorry, go
a
ahead. I hate
Having-
go on.
Oh no! I'm sorry. You go.
No, it's okay. He's been saying this like from the start of the conversation when he was like, if someone wants a doll or feminine clothing and they're 3 years old and they're his son, like he wouldn't do that. So it's something that I understand, but do you understand the science behind why that's harmful? Because every trans adult was a trans child. A lot of us knew between the ages of 3 and 7. That's pretty commonly accepted between or amongst psychologists that specialize in this. That is when everybody's gender develops. Can I finish? That is when everybody's gender develops, even cis people's, including yours. And so, honestly, like I knew at 5. Palm said they knew at 8. Like it varies a bit, but like by 3 is when it can start. And so you're not accepting these kids being able to explore what their gender is, and that is going to cause them extreme distress. That is going to lead to worse outcomes later in their lives. And if you don't accept that, then you don't agree with science. If you do accept that, then you're saying it's okay to treat your children this way.
Yeah, I have to strongly disagree. I think exploring stuff like that at a young age is harmful. Like
Harmful in what way?
It creates thoughts that don't need to be in their brain at that age. Have you seen
Like
you
what?
seen these books from
Like what?
Can I finish, please? I'm sorry. I don't mean that in a rude way. I'm just,
No, like what? Let's answer people. Let's
what I was
discussion.
what I was about to say, it helps me answer the like what question.
I mean, as long as you're answering it.
Right. It's on the same topic, right? In the same way that we talk about exploring those different areas as a child, right? There's books that have just came out in North Carolina, like schools, right? And it's 4-year-old like reading level, like preschool or kindergarten reading level. And these
Can
books
you name
have
one of those books, please?
You're just spitting off a bunch of stuff without
I'm not.
backing again.
No, I'm not.
And
I'm
the
about
answer
to.
doesn't
I wanna know
require
one
you
of
to
the-
do that.
I want to
What
know
was
what
your
one of
question
these
again,
books-
Summer?
I
at least one of these
can't
books
sit here and
is.
type on my computer and focus on sources while I'm trying to explain a point. So I either have to do one or the other. I'm sorry.
Good grief.
Multitasking is hard for bigots, apparently.
It's not hard. It's just like when I'm trying to do in-depth research for something, and then I'm also trying to focus my attention to an argument. It's kind of hard to be quality on both.
You're doing a lot of complaining for somebody who hasn't provided a source yet.
Period.
But anyways, these books have people exposed on them, and it's
Which
teaching
ones?
4-year-olds.
Which ones?
Name one book.
Chapel Hill, Caribou City Schools. You can look this up. It's in North Carolina. It's Chapel
In
Hill.
the books.
What's the name of
Does
the
it have-
book?
I'm trying to find the name of the books. Give me a second.
I don't know why you're getting upset when we're asking you for sources when you're trying to demonize us.
I'm not upset. It's just you've asked me the same question 5 times in 10 seconds when I'm currently waiting on the article to load.
And you're just talking still instead of reading us the article.
How fast is your
Source
internet
for
that
the
you're
book.
waiting that long for an article to load?
The names of the books are not listed, but they did bring them up in the courthouse that this was going on in.
Wait,
Really, in the court case, they're not going to list the names
Well,
of books?
they had the focus is more on the content of the
Get
books
out of
rather than.
here.
I'm trying to find the name of the books.
Wait, is this the one where like some anti-LGBT group was like planting books and then complaining about it?
No, this is literally in the last like 5 days.
All right.
question. What,
So where are the books?
I
You
believe
should be able to find it
the
really
book.
easily,
I
then.
believe the book is called "It Isn't Nude" or "It Isn't Rude to Be Nude."
It isn't rude to be nude.
It isn't rude to be nude. I believe is the name of the book.
My brain is lost. Why are we bringing up the books again? I'm sorry.
Children's picture book. How does this LGBTQ?
We were talking about
not
things
even-
being exposed to children and it being inappropriate and letting them.
And how does
Consider
this?
stuff.
How is this synonymous with trans people?
I was about to say, and what
You
does
guys,
that
you guys
have
are
to do with
literally
having-
deflecting from
No,
what I said to begin with.
Since the deflector. Good lord.
What does like a child wanting to wear a dress have anything to do with that? Like, because there are children who, because from what I know and what we were talking about, it was their more or less their gender expression, such as clothing, toys, stuff like that. What does a book that have this have anything to do with a trans girl wanting to wear a fucking dress?
I believe it was Summer that said that kids should be exploring like ideas and that sort of nature, and I
Yeah,
said
What
that's
does
that
like-
I
this?
disagree.
What does this book have anything to do with that?
You asked me. You said to give an example of things of that nature that are harmful.
Disingenuous as hell. Good lord.
For
spare me.
real, honestly, and like we brought this up. I feel like we went in a circle with what Palm just said. Like, there can be feminine boys and masculine girls, and you're just saying no. I don't care, even if they're cis. I'm gonna
Alright, but I'm
oppress
gonna-
them and limit
I'm gonna
them
drop
and
here
make sure
because-
that I'm over controlling and overpowering of their lives so that they can only experience certain things. And it doesn't make sense. Like, you never ended up explaining. Again, I feel like we started here, you know?
You said
Alright,
you said
but I'm
you
gonna
said
go
explain
here because
why.
I need to start my own stream. So
Okay. See you,
Branch,
Summer.
good luck in life.
Indeed.
I'm sorry. Good luck in life, Brox. That I don't understand how you're doing this well as a failure of the American education
Right, I'm a
system.
failure because explain how I'm a failure, please.
You substantiated none of your claims. You got
Failure
because
of the
I don't
American
have- I don't
education
have my claims
system.
memorized.
Don't
You say
you
I-
got you got absolutely bodied by a trans woman in a debate.
I got
How does
Period.
that make you feel?
Oh yeah, I'm really bodied.
Maybe they're into it.
I was able to substantiate
Not
my
to
claim.
kink
You weren't even
Not to
able to substantiate a single one of yours.
So I just think it's funny that you're talking about my success and yet you're on TikTok debating your.
Typically,
don't
it's
listen
not
to
smart
women
people
much,
that
do
are
you?
bigoted against trans people.
I was going to be watching
not-
a stream, and instead I am hosting a stream because the person I usually watch didn't go live. That's what I did. So look at me.
All right. Well, I'll talk to y'all later.
Bye, Summer.
Love you,
Bye.
bye.
Summer. Remember, you denote being legless.
This is my point. Like,
But yeah, I just wanted to know how that
why is
correlated.
transgenderism your guys' entire personality?
Transgenderism is not a thing.
Okay,
And
you know
a
what I
part
mean.
of our identity.
That's another thing. You
Listen,
guys take everything
okay,
so
you've been respectful so far. Please stay muted. Please. For the sake of GCs everywhere, you will be giving a good look if you just stay muted. All right? So, see, now I lost my train of thought because I had to mute this bitch and give him a little lecture.
Oh,
It's okay, Cole.
don't be disrespectful now.
So the book that you actually brought up too, this book has nothing to do with LGBTQ. It's
Do I
like,
need to explain why I brought up that book
Brox,
again or
shut
no?
up. You're not.
yeah, but
you
like
don't have the
it
talking
doesn't.
stick.
It doesn't have anything to do with LGBTQIA. It's literally talking about body positivity, and that's like something completely different than LGBTQ ideas.
It
Yeah,
has
that's
naked children on it for 4-year-olds. That's inappropriate.
I mean, is it? I mean, I'm just gonna
Yeah,
hold
that
you
is.
to.
Oh my god! See, like.
Well, we
I just
see
find
naked
this is
animals all
what's-
the day, all the time. Well, why are you like you're implicitly?
Well, good thing I'm
making-
not a wild animal.
I
Well,
mean,
good
you
thing
There's a reason
are.
bodies.
humans walk
Hold
around
on.
with clothes
Good
on.
thing bodies
You
aren't
are an animal, in
inherently
fact.
sexual.
You
Yeah,
are
we
in
do
fact.
Preach,
stigmatize nudity,
mom.
but also
Preach.
Bronk. Good
also,
thing bodies are not inherently
Okay,
sexual.
walk around in public with your
Wait,
parts out and see what happens.
Astrid was trying to speak. We're gonna give her the talking stick, and then Brox, you have been patient enough that I think we can give you the talking stick after Astrid goes. Go ahead.
but nudity should be destigmatized, but also this book has nothing to do with us, so I don't know why you're bringing it up, and you keep pounding on it.
Absolutely.
Like, do I think that we should have this particular
Summer-
book in a public library for kids? Probably not. But like, it's nudity is something that's been heavily stigmatized in the U.S. at least. So there's parts of the world where
It's
nude beaches are fine. It isn't seen being nude isn't necessarily seen as being sexual. That's something that we've done ourselves as humans.
so Summer asked me.
Once again, the British's fault.
Do you want to talk to comments, or do you want to talk to us?
I'm talking to you guys. Summer was on the panel,
And she's not anymore.
right? You said why did I say what I said about the books, and I'm answering your question.
Well, you brought up a book that has nothing to do with lesbian, gay, bi, trans,
I
intersex,
didn't say the book had
asexual.
anything to do with LGBTQ,
Oh,
TI plus.
well then it's just
Like,
was it like talking about weasels?
just
I
brought
can
it up
start
for no
talking about
reason?
weasels. I can tell you that
No,
stoats
no.
have black
He-
tips at their
I-
tails because it helps
we were
distract
me and
predators
Summer were on the topic
from
of.
actually
I don't know
catching
if
them.
you guys weren't listening
It
all
is
the
in
way
fact
or
a
what,
fun
but we were on the
fact.
topic.
But like, I mean, I too can just go off about random shit. So why did you actually bring it up? I can go more about weasel facts if you'd like.
Because he's inherently sexualizing us.
Well, I could explain
Period.
why I brought it up, or you guys could just keep telling me why did I bring it up, or that it isn't associated with LGBTQIA, even though I didn't say it was.
Well,
Why would you bring it up if you know it isn't?
I brought it up because Summer asked me about things that why I disagree with children having or exploring ideas of things associated with being trans in the same way that I associated children exploring these books, because that's not things that should happen at a young age.
well, you conflating being
Regardless
trans
of
and
how these books-
sexuality. Like, this is just the problem you're making. You're conflating.
You guys
being
just
trans
cut each
with
other off,
sexual.
so I have no idea what either one of you said.
So yeah, you're conflating being trans with sexual, like anything sexual. Being trans has
I'm
on
not
its
I'm not
face
confusing
has
the two.
nothing to
It's just
do with being, with anything regarding genitals. It is only to do with how an individual feels. Gender affirming care might involve things such as like genitals, but this is something that people who are actually of age to talk about these things would be discussed with, not fucking kids.
And to add,
Yeah, my whole the first thing I said
Brox,
when I
we're
joined
not
this line-
finished. Go ahead, Keaton, and then I'll go.
if you in fact are talking about trans kids and immediately you start thinking sexual things, that in fact says a lot about you, because no one else is fucking thinking that.
Exactly. This might be a shock to you, guest, but it's actually the large minority of trans folks who are already a large minority that actually need gender affirming care in the form of medical transitioning. So, like, you can be a trans man and not have gender dysphoria. You can be a trans whatever, woman, non-binary, whatever it is, and not have gender dysphoria with your body that needs medical transition. But you might have dysphoria with the way you dress and how your hair is, how you present yourself, other things like that. So that's just to add to what Host was just saying.
Do I have the talking stick now?
You sure do. Go ahead.
All right, yeah. I just think it's inappropriate for either one of those topics to be discussed with the children, and it doesn't have to be sexual or not.
What's inappropriate about identity?
That shouldn't be the focus of first of all, you guys said that these conversations aren't had with children. Well, if that's the case, then that's fine. Because the first thing I said when I joined the live was, if you're of age and an adult, it doesn't matter what you say.
question. I don't know if I heard this wrong. You said identity is not something what a kid should explore, because I believe every single kid explores their identity at a young age. Oh, what do
Not
I
not
like
not that
to
type
do
of
more?
identity.
Who they are, yes. Identity as a whole is who you are as a person. It's way more than personality, because you also brought up the whole personality thing. No, identity and personality are actually two different things. They are two different things. And with identity, that's not something you can change, because that is inherently who you are, and you figure it out at a young age. Such like 8-year-old will start to figure out like who they are and so forth. Like they will literally try to figure out who they are, because that is what we do. That's what kids do. You can't change identity. You can't. It's not a personality. It's legit who you are. So a kid learning about their identity, exploring what they want to do,
If you
their
take a
expression,
You don't have the talking stick.
their expression is normal. Every kid does this. Every single kid.
Every single kid, including yourself, you explored gender growing up and then found out that you were a boy. Good for you. Even if it wasn't something notable to your own development and your identity and your personal identity, it doesn't mean that it isn't for other people when we're trans. When you're cis, it usually is just like categorized in your mind as something typical, and you're not gonna like make a deal out of it. But when we are developing our gender identity as trans people, it sticks out because it doesn't align. So like honestly at this point, I don't know what you're not getting.
I just don't think that trans ideology should be the focus of a
Trans
person.
ideology, and I
Okay,
will
it's
interrupt
not
for
like a
this.
kid-
Trans
hold on.
ideology is not a fucking thing.
Hold
It's
on.
not
should-
like a kid goes, I want to
That's
learn.
not a thing.
Well, do you think that we should teach facts in school? We should
I
teach
think,
facts that are appropriate for age, that are reflective of society. I would say.
Yeah, I think anybody
Oh,
between
that's
the
what I was
ages
going to
of,
say. Sorry. My ADHD ass is going to interject. When we say age appropriate, we don't mean over the age of 18. Age appropriate for kindergartners, which I believe are like 5 and 6, if I'm not mistaken, would be family structures. Like some people have a mom and a dad. Some people have a mom and a mom. Some people have aunts that are with other aunts or aunts and uncles. It depends. Some people are raised by their grandparents, you know? Like we're going to talk about family structure. If that's age appropriate at age 5 or 6. Now, when we're getting to like 14, 15, 16, we're talking sex ed, which we're going to be talking about different sexualities and different gender identities at that point, because it is age appropriate, meaning that their brains are developed enough in order to understand these things so that they can go into the world and about their own lives, being who they are and not hurting other people for who they are. For example, I knew I was trans since I was 5. I knew I wasn't a boy and I knew I wasn't a girl, but that was the only way I knew how to word it because I was so overprotected until I was literally 18. And I didn't come out as non-binary until I was 19 because I didn't have the resources and the information together in order to articulate who I was, because nobody freaking told me. I would have loved to have known that at 13, 14, 15, because I'd already known since 5 that I wasn't a boy or a girl, which is what being non-binary is, and I could have received the gender-affirming care that I needed when I needed it. Go ahead. Sorry, I'm done now.
I just think it's kind of funny that I can't get through a talking point all the way, but you guys can.
Well, you made it
Like,
through
I
that
don't
one
know how I'm
just
supposed
fine.
to. No, but how can I explain in depth what my argument is if you guys disagree with something midway, and then that's not debating, that's just straight up
It just doesn't like
power tripping on your life.
What
I mean,
what is
like,
inappropriate about telling people what we see in the world, and that these things are okay, and like that there's a wide diverse array of people, like that can't be inappropriate.
that doesn't have to do anything with what I just said.
Well, that is what we want to teach kids, is that it's a wide world out there. People are different, And not everybody's the same, especially when it comes down to things such as identity, the color of their skin, and other things that have been used for decades and centuries to systematically oppress people.
Fuck the British. But also, I have a question. What grade did you guys get, like, sex ed? Because I got it in grade 5, but, like, my
I
wife
got it in 5th grade.
in, like, grade 7 or something. What?
It depends on what level of sex ed. Because we had it from grades, let's see, that would have been 5 to freshman year of high
I'm
school.
pretty sure
14.
they started in 5th grade because a lot of kids started to hit puberty in 5th grade.
Yeah, so
I
that's
had
the
one in
part of
grade
sex ed they'd bring up.
5,
Sorry, go ahead,
one in
Astrid.
grade 8. Sorry, I had one in grade 5, one in grade 8, and one in grade 10, I think. So, like, I'm just wondering. I was talking about it with my wife the other day, so.
Honestly, it's a good question.
All right, well, I enjoyed this conversation, but I've been on here for like an hour, and I'm ready for my dinner, so I'm gonna go cook that.
Feel free to join to continue discussion at any time. As long as you continue to be respectful, that is.
Yeah, see, I'm open to any conversation with anything. I just, I have my point of view, and you guys have your point of view, and that's the point of discussions.
Some are backed by science, others aren't. That's also the point of discussions. That's all.
Well, I mean, I can back stuff up with science too, but like I don't debate, so I don't have it memorized. Like this article does that, and this article does this.
We don't have it memorized either, but we do have notes that we search through to find these things. And if you want to have such a strong stance on something like this, you probably should consider doing the same.
It would be like a politician coming up to a bill to try to debate it and not have fucking read the bill. Like, you probably want to do your homework and get the boots for a hike before you go on said hike. It's kind of a crazy idea.
Right. All right. I'm gonna go cook my dinner. So.
Okay. Well, have a good night.
All right. You guys too.
So, anyways, weasel sex is quite interesting. If anybody wants to know about it.
Oh my gosh, Stowe!
No. Did you not see? He put this in the Discord, and I was like, please no. You do this. But also, yeah, I have a 3-minute clip of Edna crashing out.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I need to see it. Are you able to show it, like, either on green screen or another device? By
Send
chance?
it on Discord.
If it's okay with Stowe, we can show it here.
I want to edit it and post it to this account. But also, unfortunately, I missed the best part of the crash out where he really crashed out at first. I fucking failed to clip when I joined up, which was my own stupid fault. It was
Post it.
hilarious. He crashed out with me being British.
Oh my god, send me the clip. You have my Discord.
British.
I think I am going to start in the future when people talk about age-appropriate things. I think I'm going to start talking about stoats and weasels more often, and how, like, hey, it's okay to teach that stoats and weasels are animals, and that they do know that they're wild animals. We shouldn't approach them, but we don't teach kids about the sexual habits of stoats and weasels.
Oh,
that would be
no,
deviant.
Right? Anyway, Snake Kitty, I don't know if you and I are added on Discord.
Who's Snake Kitty?
Who is Snake Kitty? Edna,
Edna.
sorry. I don't know if I have you on Discord or not. Palm, I don't even know if I have you on Discord.
You're in my server.
Am I?
Yeah.
Yes, I can send it you.
Well, damn. Okay.
There you go. I sent you a DM of who it is on my server, on the stream server.
I'm literally just making this connection. Okay.
I know that we're in a
Thank you for
server together.
clarifying.
But I don't know if we're friended in the server.
Yeah.
We shall fix that now.
Yeah.
That was
I'm already sending it to Cole.
Yeah, that
he
was
crashed out about me. No, he crashed out about me being British and immediately went straight to stereotypes of BBC and that, and constantly repeating it in a poor imitation of a British accent.
so. I'm gonna go play some Kenshi, guys. No.
Now, I'm gonna edit it and post it on here, so I don't want to send it out to too many people, and I don't want it constantly spam shared, just so that I can get a good edit of it and then post that and share that.
Oh, I just saw the video. Oh my god.
I'm about to go watch it. Don't spoil it yet.
Yeah, go watch
That
it.
is. Would that be counted as racism?
Reclusi, yes, it's me. Hello.
No. Yeah.
Don't mention my name.
Question: would that be counted as racism?
Technically, it could be.
He's coming after specifically your ethnicity and stereotyping you on it, so it would be the textbook definition of racism.
Yeah, I consider
Yeah,
like ethnic shaming
I
as
just think that Edna
racism.
crashing out was too funny. I mean, come on. I'm going to clip it shorter because the ending was a bit boring. But he was crashing out over there apparently being no context when he still said that they denote being legless.
Oh, who got
No, it's
snapped?
not me, Reclusi, not at all.
Cole left.
Okay.
Oh no, Cole, come back.
That
I
was,
smell food.
That was one of the sillier guests I've had in a while, where he was just like just biting down on dumb bullets.
I did not.
Hey, Pom.
Yeah. I did not appreciate that the guy was trying to use my precocious puberty to back up his claim. That was no.
Yeah, that was wild.
And I'm a trans person too.
Yeah.
Like on top of that.
It's a bit weird that they tokenized that out of anything.
Like
what?
I don't care if I had consent in that regard. It helped me not go through immense medical trauma. Well, I did go through immense medical trauma because they took me off it too early, but still.
Easy.
5-year-old going through having a chest at 5 years old is better than having a chest at 2. That is how I choose to look at this. At least my period started like later at 8. Yeah, I think that's a bit better. But now I have like this big ass thing on my chest that I did not consent to have.
I have these legs I didn't consent to have, but I'm stuck with them anyway. No. I know it's not the same, but no.
I did not consent to chesticles.
Chesticles.
I did not consent to the chesticles.
Well, that was fun. I am going to go play some Kenshi now, though, because I did buy it and haven't gotten to play it. So have a good night, everybody. Thanks for coming.
You too. You too.
I look forward to seeing the Edna clip. Bye.
Oh my god, you're gonna love it. Bye.